Rumble Season 7. I am pumped. It's Mr. Young.
Woo. And it's Foreign in the building. Audio issues fixed, I hope.
I don't know why your voice went like 5 octaves higher on that. But yes, we are here. We are good. And it's good to see everybody, by the way. How are we doing in chat? Chat is popping off right now because my God. Bro, it's like festive season lah. What could happen? We can take 2 months off. And then right before the Rumble... Woo! The shit. I didn't
just hit the fan, bro.
Oh, that was not intended, but my God, it really did hit the fan and also hit somebody's head. But we'll talk about that in just a bit.
Oh no, bro. Okay, first of all, I want to thank everyone in our Discord, our community, because you guys have kept this thing going even when we are on our break. So like it's truly a wrestling community, and we really want to thank you guys for keeping everything still going and alive, man, in wrestling.
The shit. Oh God, I can't help myself but make these jokes. The stuff doesn't stop, does it? Like, how crazy is it? We're like, all right, let's just here's the thing, right in the lead up to Royal Rumble. The WWE was doing so well. There was so much good vibes, you know what I'm talking about? And you know what? Shall we start with that? Oh, before we do anything, of course, once again, like you mentioned, big shout out to everybody in chat, in Discord. It's good to see you all. But also, remember, we have a Patreon. Help us keep the lights on, our mics on, and all that kind of good stuff. Hey, do consider being a Patreon member. Any amount is great for us. Check it out in the description.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, you guys please stay tuned to the end of the show because I've got some announcements to make about the Patreon. Mr. Yan, don't worry, I got it all covered.
Is it?
And I hope you guys consider subscribing to all the various tiers. Starts as $2.99. That's our first tier on our Patreon, and $4.99 is for those people that you see, those beautiful names that you see on our byline. People we give a shout out on the podcast as well.
Is it foreign and you will have like sexy content on the Patreon, like the OF, the OnlyFans style?
Bro, apparently that one not allowed on Patreon.
Oh,
I need
come
to
on.
open my own fan time. But no, unfortunately no. I'm sorry to disappoint you guys, but there is no OnlyFans content coming out. But there's better content, something more relatable to us.
Okay. You heard it here first. There's no OnlyFans, but only wrestling fans lah. Huh? That's what we have.
Yes, OWF.
Okay,
not the Oriental Wrestling Entertainment. I remember OWE.
Oh my God, yeah.
Remember?
That was a thing for Hot Light. It's probably still a thing. It's just not really a thing that we are very familiar with now.
Yes, indeed. Okay, wait. So there's too many things to catch up on. Literally, if we were to go through every single thing that happened from December, because you see, our last episode last season, right, was literally the day after Survivor Series when CM Punk returned.
Yes, correct.
So that's been 2 months, and I tell you, there's a new cycle that broke every single week since then in the ensuing 10 weeks that we've been away.
It's almost as if the universe is like trying to tell us not to take a break, but it is what it is. We have lives to live and everything. I will say though, I have legit, right? Like even on social media, I kind of just scroll past and ignore the AEW stuff. So okay, before we get to the juicy stuff, can you tell me, has anything interesting happened in AEW? Chat, please weigh in. Has anything of note that I should watch happened in AEW recently? Because, Dynamite, Rampage, Collision, Battle of the Bodos, I have not watched any of it. Like anything that pops up on my social media, I kind of scroll by. I did briefly see that the Cope fought the old Japanese dude. Old Japanese dude.
Minoru Suzuki.
Yeah.
And Suzuki, yes.
How was that?
Okay, well, first of all, Mr. Young, you are assuming that I'm also watching AEW content as well. The assumption is that foreign watches everything. I mean, most of the time that might be right. But did you know on the same day that Royal Rumble was happening, there was an episode of AEW Collision Eric. So
I saw there was a cage match. FTR were involved.
Yeah, so nothing against the wrestlers. Of course, we are fans of FTR.
They tried.
Malachi Black, House of Black. They are great. But that was the main event, and nobody gave a damn. I mean, not at least on our side of things. So,
is it just a thing of like the AEW hype has officially just flatline? It's only the diehard, hardcore fans who are going to be watching it. If they don't do something big, it's going to be a downhill slide from there.
Wait, okay. Let me post this to our listeners and people on the stream, right? Who are you more, or which company are you more invested in right now? AEW or TNA? Right?
Oh my god, I love that you brought up TNA, by the way, who just got Nick Nemeth, aka Dolph Ziggler. Really cool dude.
Yeah. I mean, technically you're a fan, so will you be checking out his stuff right now?
Probably not.
Okay. Let me tell you something that will interest you, that will pique your interest, Mr. Young. His written promo uploaded on the TNA channel got 1 million views.
Oh, okay.
It's the first 1 million view video in TNA in like years, bro.
Bro, that's more numbers than the Young Bucks and their sit down. Have you? I saw. Okay. Here's the thing. I like when I say I didn't see any AEW. I saw that interview. Like, I saw clips of it, and I was like, oh wow, they should not be on the mic. I know they're trying to go for this EVP douchey, like, like the way they dress, the mustache and everything, right? Like, I get what they're trying to go for, but these two cannot orate for nuts. They can't set, and that whole thing, right, where they talk about Sting, right? They're like, oh yeah, we respect him. He didn't come in to try to, obviously all veiled, like, references to CM Punk. I get it. But like, they didn't set anything up. They didn't lay the road for the next match or a feud. It was just their time to bitch and make inside jokes and snide remarks.
I was waiting for this, Mr. Young. I was thinking to myself, I wanted to time, right? How long will it take for Mr. Young to shit on the Young Bucks into the new season? And congratulations, Mr. Young. It took you less than 10 minutes.
Oh, right.
The first episode.
Excuse me, their passport names, Matthew and Nicholas. That was that. I mean, okay. I am. Oh, and it's hilarious because I see the memes a lot, right? The memes of like CM Punk, his return 1 million views. These Young Bucks, like, 10,000, was it like 100,000 views on that video? 90,000, something like that. And then now that you tell me freaking Dolph Ziggler got more views than them, I'm like, wow.
Clearly, Dolph Ziggler is the biggest star. I mean, what do you think?
Dude,
right?
Everybody in AEW is a bigger star than Young Bucks at this point.
Let me give you another funny stat, right? Yeah. So, of course, Jim Cornette had to get in on the act and react to that segment, right?
Yeah.
You know what's funny? He mentioned it on his show, and actually I took a look at it. His segment on YouTube talking about the Young Bucks got 100,000 views, bro. It's the same amount as the Young Bucks segments.
Oh my god, that is...
I think, right, there is really a subsection of fans, right, who don't watch who don't watch AEW, but they actually just watch Jim Cornette's take on AEW.
Right,
that's his own section of fans.
Hey, it's a good business, I guess.
It is.
TK had a Twitter meltdown. Okay,
when
he's
talking? He's several meltdowns, right? So you're talking about the recent one or something that just happened?
Wait. What? Like, we know about the Hinder the Jinder nonsense, the one where he talks shit about who like, oh no, like, oh my god, as a booker, like you would never. Okay, I was about to bring Vince McMahon up as a comparison, but well, guess what? Now we can't compare him because he's in a different league altogether. The dirty old man doesn't even come close. Okay.
Okay. You know what?
Like, holy shit! God.
Let me give you a very interesting comparison, right? You know how people always complain and talk about TK playing with his toys?
Oh shit,
bro! Vince McMahon, right? Vince McMahon doesn't just play with any kind of toys. He plays with sex toys and name it after his wrestlers.
Oh my. Okay. We will get into that. We will get into that in just a bit. But just to put AEW aside. We've often said this. They have the talents, right? The Bang Bang Scissor Club is a thing now, apparently. I don't know why it's a thing. It's like trying to sell t-shirts. At this point, they are, and I've said this before, right? An indie company with $1 million budget. And it's showing right now in spades. I hate that Samoa Joe is finally the champion. He's getting his shine. But in this sort of, in this place that's not relevant lah.
Yeah. Well... The funny thing is, right, I feel like everyone was a bigger star in WWE. Yeah. And it got diminished in AEW. Like, you know, Coke Open. I mean, it sounds cheesy as fuck. I love Edge. Who doesn't love Edge? Edge has a great career. But I would argue if he were to start his career in AEW, he would have never become the mega star he is right now.
Because
you get what I mean?
Yeah, hate on WWE all you want. For the past however many decades, they've been able to churn out stars, deserve it or not. That's a whole other conversation altogether. But you can't stop the giant juggernaut machine, right? And the way they do things. Well, it's very hard. See, that's the thing. I want to talk about, I don't want to jump to it yet, but it's like this tarnished legacy, right? Where I want to give Vince McMahon his flowers, but then he go and do all these other things. Allegedly, it hasn't, been proven or disproven or anything like that. But it's very hard now. And in a very weird, selfish way, I was thinking about this just randomly while I was in the toilet, ironically.
Okay.
Haven't we now been robbed of that moment when Vince eventually passes away? And then we've been robbed of that moment of like the video packages. What I mean? And obviously if he did do what he's been accused of, then, that's terrible, right? He should be sort of like, pushed aside.
Chris Benoit treatment, right?
Yeah. But it's like, in a very selfish way, as a wrestling fan, I'm like, that moment is forever lost to us. They can never play the Vince McMahon tribute package anymore.
Yeah. I know you want to dive into Vince McMahon, but I just want to say one last thing about AEW. As much as we,
I don't dive into anything involving Vince McMahon.
If you can avoid it, you would, right?
Shoot.
Like I have to also acknowledge, right? I know AEW is having a bad spell right now.
Yeah.
But without AEW, I don't think you have gotten this much, mileage from WWE, this much fire and vigor, right? AEW was the catalyst, and the fact that people are going from WWE to AEW to WWE, this is like the recreation of the Monday Night Wars. This is what wrestling fans has always wanted. And again, competition did drive WWE to greater heights. Having said that, I don't think AEW should just be complacent and rest on their laurels and say like, we were the reason, we created this alternative. We all should, appreciate what we do. They definitely need to take a good hard look at themselves and see how they can improve in 2024. And, I know there's teasers of signings coming in that they might have some coups, but again, doesn't matter. Even if the biggest star in the world go to AEW, if the booking is a shit show, there's no direction, no story, you're going to end up like Miro. You're going to end up like Keith Lee. You're going to end up like Malachi Black, right?
Bro, the fact that they've completely fumbled Adam Copeland Edge says everything already. Like, like Andrade, Miro, Malachi, sure, right? They weren't world champion level guys. But the fact that, like Edge goes there and he's completely irrelevant right now. He might as well not have, and okay, we've said this before. Maybe his goal is not to become a world champion again. He's just going there to have fun with his friends.
I would say I can count on, one hand, like the people that actually have been elevated by being in AEW. Like, to be honest, Christian Cage. Yeah. Christian Cage. Sure. Definitely has proved that he actually can be a great draw, but I don't think he can do it in WWE because there's too many big stars. But in AEW, maybe that's his level, right? John Moxley, as weird as I am to say this, AEW is his level. He did become a bigger star in AEW, but he also completely shit on his legacy. So he's like a bit half and half.
Okay, well, nobody shit on their legacy quite like a certain Vincent Kennedy McMahon, which we will touch on in just a bit. But I also want to acknowledge the massive deal. And okay, I found it very weird though. Swerve is another guy, by the way, yes. Swerve Strickland is a guy. Look, the cream will rise to the top no matter where they are, right? It's just that can they maintain their momentum in a place that's going to book them into oblivion? That's always the question.
I agree that they became stars in spite of AEW, not because of AEW.
Yeah, no, that's exactly in spite of and not because of. You give somebody ultra talented a platform, and in a lot of ways, that's how the rise of the YouTube celebrity, it's sort of that whole idea, right? You give somebody a platform, even if they don't, they're not on television, they can gain a huge following because they are just good at what they do, or they are just entertaining at what they do.
Yeah. But again, all right, even if you have somebody homegrown, like, Darby Allin or MJF or even Adam Page to a certain extent, my fear is they will never reach a level of a mainstream star in AEW. Like, they will be a great star in AEW, but that is considering you are going to be like a mid-carder in WWE. Like it really is like that. So
Darby Allin is a very good example, and we can draw the same parallel to a Jeff Hardy. They are very individualistic. They don't care about the accolades and the titles. They just want to do what they do because they are artists or whatever you want to say, right? But The WWE saw the value in Jeff Hardy. They pushed him all the way to the top, had his moment with The Undertaker. He was champion for a while. Yeah, he's not The Rock, or he's not, but you know what I mean? At least they elevated him.
Yep.
I feel like Darby Allin could have been the same thing if he had solid booking around him, you know?
Yeah, I agree. So at the end of the day, right, like, I tell you, the creative team, the people running the ship is the most important. Like, they are the make or break, right? If you were a young star and you want to trust your career in, somebody's hands, right? Would you put your career in AEW where, it literally is sink or swim, right?
Yeah.
But you do not know what you don't know.
Yeah.
But or you can go to WWE, go through the NXT system. Yes, you get trained in that style, but you have structure. You have somebody to guide you. You know what you need to do to get to the top.
I wonder if it's a mentality thing, right? And to say that, okay, now it's very easy to say, oh yeah, of course, go to NXT. You got Shawn Michaels to teach you there. But if you are the Jon Moxley personality, you will never work. You will just burn out so quickly. You will feel restricted, right? So if you are the sink or swim, I just want to do things my way and stuff like that. Yeah, go to AEW. And, whether you succeed or you fail or just, are at the middle the whole time, it's on you. But that's your choice. And I think that, in a way, it's good that we have that now.
Correct. So, like, I mean, we will end all this criticism with some praise. Yeah. But maybe AEW's spot in the wrestling business is for artists. Like, literally, it's for those artistic wrestlers that I don't want to be caged. I want to be Jeff Hardy. I want to have freedom. I want to tell the stories that I want to tell. And if you're good, those stories will land with the audience and connect. If you're not, then you'll end up in the freaking Continental Classic lah. Just wrestling random matches.
But at the end of the day, everybody has a job. Well, not everybody, but you get the point. There's more options out there. As long as Papa Khan feeds the money lah. At some point, he's going to be like, okay lah, you're wasting enough my money. Let's put a stop to it.
Yeah. Speaking of money, bro, I mean, like, you touched on it earlier, but can we talk about that huge ass deal that just broke this past week, bro?
Okay, a lot of things broke this past week, but I assume you're talking about Raw finally landing a home in Netflix. Tudum. I know
wrestling
that
and chill is gonna be a thing, bro, in 2025. What's up with that?
I know that the rumors were there. They were probably shopping it to Netflix, but did you think it would ever happen?
Oh man, in my heart of hearts, I did have a feeling that they will end up in a big streaming platform. Yeah. I just thought Netflix was a bit random because I've never really heard of Netflix live streaming or doing any live shows. Were there any live shows before this?
They are pushing for, like, I believe they're doing some tennis show at some point. They want to push into live sports because that is the next frontier. Live sports, you cannot quote unquote pirate. Well, you can, but you can't do it as easily, right? Like as some other show. Live, like the thing about live sports, and everyone wants live sports. Like, you watch the EPL. We stay up late to watch football matches because you want to be there as part of the experience, right? So I'm not surprised at all that they want a company to give them live sporting shows, especially a company that has been doing gangbuster numbers in the past couple of months because of all their wheeling and dealings. Like, say what you want, right? Triple H is hitting on all cylinders. Not every cylinder is a hit, but, he's making it work in a big way.
Yeah. Very interesting when you talk about sports, but if I actually deep dive and kind of analyze the whole landscape as a whole, all the streaming platforms, it had to be Netflix because, right, you have Apple Plus or Apple TV, the app, right? They actually have a huge deal with MLS. I don't know whether you're aware.
Oh, Major League Soccer, yeah.
Correct. So, and then I think NFL has a deal with Fox or Fox, their app or something like that. Yep. But the point is, a lot of the big organizations in America already have like tie-ups with different streaming networks or streaming apps. And the only one that didn't have a streaming, or they didn't have like a live organization or a live sporting franchise tied to them was two places actually. Just HBO or HBO Max, or Max is what they call it right now, right? Yep. And Netflix. Even Amazon has a deal, if I believe.
There is also Disney Plus then, if you want to go there, because there's a third.
Correct.
So, but okay, on that point, HBO is owned by Warner, which is home to AEW, and there has been talks like, okay, when is AEW going to be streaming on Warner and HBO and all that kind of stuff, right? But
yes, correct.
Who knows when that deal is going to go forward?
Yep. So, it was only a matter of time. And also, I think Netflix makes so much sense. You know why?
Yeah.
If WWE is gonna market themselves as the worldwide leaders, sports entertainment, like literally they are the giants, right? They need to be in as many households from around the world as possible.
Yep.
And Netflix, say what you will about Netflix, whether regarding their criticisms or whatnot, but literally Netflix is everywhere. Every country have their own Netflix. Netflix India, Netflix South Africa, Netflix Brazil, whatever it is.
Yep.
So the potential, like that, apparently I read another report saying that 200 million subscribers on Netflix in and around the world.
And look,
compared
we've talked
to
Yeah, so go ahead.
Compared to WWE Network, which is like what, 1 million subscribers, 2 million subscribers.
Yeah. Well,
the
okay.
Earning potential. So
No, absolutely. Because there's a thing, right? With the WWE Network, you're only going to subscribe if you are a fan. Like we are. We subscribe because we're fans, right? But now with Netflix, my God, how many times, bro? Everyone in chat, how many times have you been doom scrolling on Netflix because you're bored, didn't know what to watch? Okay lah, let's check out this wrestling. Looks kind of cool. Like, you talk about mainstream. I think this is the turning point for the WWE in that this is going to be the most mainstream move they've ever made in their entire history. Forget about rock and wrestling. Forget about MTV. This is going to be it. Yo,
and the best part, I know you're excited, but the best part is, right, they're not just targeting all these old folks, all these people on cable who are still watching TV and DVR.
Yes.
They're going to target the new generation, the younger generation, and they're going to keep wrestling on going to the younger generation.
Yes, absolutely. I mean, hey, the old folks also know how to use Netflix, okay? Don't play lah. But
that's assuming that I'm calling you an old folk. We are the young ones as well.
Sure. No, my point, to me, I can't put into words like what a huge deal this is, right? Well, I mean, $5 billion. But, was it $5 billion US? Yeah, it was $5 billion US.
Yes, correct. $5 billion.
But it's that potential of grabbing casuals, people who used to watch. Like we talked about the lapsed fan, right? Who are like scrolling, watching their singles Inferno. Hey, look, got Stone Cold, got The Rock and all that kind of stuff, right? And them getting back into the show. I also heard another rumor that Raw may be going back to 2 hours on Netflix.
Oh, that's so smart. Especially if for international fans, we get like the whole value meal, right? If we do get SmackDown, pay-per-views or PLEs, that would be amazing, bro.
That's the other thing, because reading into the full press release and stuff like that, it has to do, it's a bit like football, soccer, right? Like, if let's say StarHub and Singtel sign exclusive rights, then no other platform can show it. So, it depends on what the deal is between StarHub and the WWE. If it's an ironclad deal, StarHub's going to hold them to it, then we are effed already. We might not get Raw, SmackDown, blah, blah, blah on our Netflix. But if it's I don't know what the deal is, obviously, but if it's like a loose deal that they can get out of it and then, be done with it, then bro, in 2025, Raw, SmackDown, NXT, PLEs will be watching on Netflix. I can save an extra, $15.99, $14.99 a month, god damn it.
Oh, bro, what if because of this damn ass deal, Netflix is gonna jack up the price? If you want live sports, it's $20 a month.
It's fine. Hey, $5 extra is better than whatever $15 that I'm paying, right?
Yep. Hey, shout out to Saleh, our intern is in the house. He did say something that I also resonate with. I told my friends who hasn't been watching wrestling for a while that it's going to be on Netflix and they're actually interested. So there is an argument that, people don't watch wrestling and don't seek out for wrestling because it's just not as accessible as last time. No. So now if it's on Netflix, people watch it, right?
Bro, think about it in the Singapore context. Forget about the US, right? Singapore context. If you want to watch wrestling, you have to freaking sign up for cable, StarHub, don't know what, Hub Sports Channel, blah, blah, blah. What a pain in the ass. Look, dude, I am a very tech-savvy person, right? And I look at I'm not going to sign up for this shit, that shit, We all know how we watch our Raws and SmackDowns, but, it is a massive pain in the ass,
So that's why, bro, I am of the belief this will affect storylines, right? If WWE is gonna premiere Netflix 2025, Raw is gonna be there, and they're gonna have the whole road to WrestleMania next year, from Royal Rumble all the way to WrestleMania on this streaming platform. You know what's gonna happen, right? They are not gonna have some run of the mill, main event.
Yeah.
Do you know where I'm going with this, Mr. Young?
No, actually, no, I don't.
Okay, good. So stay with me, right? This is why I am confident. Hashtag finish the story. It will happen this year. Hashtag the battle of the bloodlines will only happen next year.
Wait. So you are calling for Roman Reigns and The Rock on Netflix?
Correct.
WrestleMania 41.
Correct. So my prediction, very early as WrestleMania prediction right now, is that the start of this bloodline war with The Rock and Roman Reigns, the first time they encounter each other is at WrestleMania. And the whole storyline is just gonna, go. The whole arc is just gonna happen throughout the rest of this year, and they are gonna finally have that big ass match, that Titanic clash on the first WrestleMania on Netflix, which will get the eyes, will get people to watch.
Bro, I like where your head is at. That makes perfect sense. And we all know Dwayne, Mr. Johnson, The Rock, and he now owns the trademark to his own name, by the way. After being appointed the board of directors, he is the literal head of the table now. But yeah, no, that's exactly it, right? Like, you want a main event that every casual in the universe will want to look at, want to check out. There you go, Roman Reigns versus The Rock, WrestleMania 41. At first, it didn't make sense because, you want to do it at 40, but now it makes perfect sense because it's going to be on Netflix. Let's go!
Yes, correct. Right. Then, Saleh, you can tell all your friends, you can tell all your random casuals who are like, WWE is back on Netflix,
hey, bro,
WWE is on Netflix. What's
you say
watch?
Like bad word like that, you tell your random casuals.
Mr. Young, I am not a highbrow wrestling fan. I love connecting with people who do not know anything about wrestling and trying to get them into it, right?
Filthy casuals. But yes, the more the merrier, yes.
Yes, so you can tell these people like, hey, you haven't watched wrestling in a while, right? Oh, WrestleMania is on Netflix and The Rock is going to be in the main event. Come on, let's watch. People will check it out. Just out of curiosity, right?
Here's the problem I find with that, though. The Rock is on a lot of Netflix shows and they're all shit.
Chill lah, Mr. Young. Just
but wait, hang on. Isn't that true, though? Name me one movie that stars The Rock that was actually good on Netflix. Heck, even in the big screen in theaters at this point.
Okay. Nobody is arguing with you, Mr. Young, that The Rock is a Oscar caliber actor. I would even agree, right? He's not even an actor because he just plays himself most of the time.
It's Rock in the jungle, Rock in space, Rock in a building, Rock in the, fighting against a giant ape.
Yeah. He has not shown the range of a Batista, right? Let's be clear, right?
Yeah.
But I think The Rock realizes his limits, right? He's not the kind of guy who like in his own world, okay, Black Adam, I'm gonna be the Black Adam star. He knows Black Adam bomb. He's probably gonna kind of like, I'm gonna regroup. And maybe my goal is not to dominate Hollywood. I already made my mark in Hollywood. Maybe now his goal is to go back to his roots and make wrestling mainstream, which was maybe his 20-year plan all along, Mr. Do you think so? His whole idea of going to Hollywood was maybe to create the pathway for wrestlers to Hollywood and back again.
Okay, I don't know if he did it like out of, altruism. Oh, I'm going to pave the way. I mean, obviously there's a level of he wanted to do it to see if he could do it. He's one of those like really driven people, right? Just look at him. Funny side anecdote. I was in Genting this past weekend, right? And I was at like one of the shopping malls. I was at the Under Armour shop. Hey, shout out to The Rock, Under Armour, and his line of clothing, right? And then I saw this big ass poster of The Rock. At first, I was standing next to a poster. I'm like, is that life size? Probably is because the dude is huge, right? And then you know what my wife said? My wife said, hey, his thighs got more muscles than like I have places. You know what I mean? Like the dude, like I've the only reason that was brought up because the picture was blown up so big. It was like massive poster, right? It's like
I've never big as your head, bro.
Yeah. No, I've never seen like you look. Okay, actually no, not his thigh. Sorry, his calf. You see my calf? My calf is like one muscle, right? How the fuck he got two muscles in the calf? I'm like, what is going on?
Bro. I mean, he's a Samoan, bro. Them jeans, don't play them jeans, bro.
Them jeans are out of this world. Crazy.
Yeah. But again, like, isn't it a smart move from TKO, right? Bringing The Rock on the board, showing that face. Yes, he is a great PR face. You have
you need all the PR you can get at this point.
Yes, that's the point I'm getting towards, Mr. Young. Yeah, so like let's if you want to get the stench out of the lawsuit out of the way, you got to have a face like the Raw. You got to have Cody Rhodes, way up front like the John Cena 2.0. You got to have Triple H making all the moves backstage. So this is what WWE has to do, to get into the new era of wrestling right now.
Yeah. Tovakin says, to be honest, he's just going where the money is. Dude, that's exactly it. He's a smart man. He's a businessman. He knows that he's not, freaking Al Pacino. He's not an Oscar-winning actor. He's just doing these movies for the money. Oh, okay. He's been in recent movies have all bombed. So let's go back to the roots, which is wrestling, but in a much bigger way.
Yes, correct. And I believe he will achieve his ultimate goal of making a wrestling biography into mainstream, right? Like he probably will make a biography of his life and make it to a movie.
Knowing him, you know what he's going to do? He's going to CGI, as in he will act himself as a... You remember?
Yeah, for sure.
Do you remember Captain America when Chris Evans was like super skinny? But he was himself, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what The Rock is going to do. He's going to use CGI to make himself small. And he's still going to play him. He's not going to let nobody else take that role.
Bro, he already did that, bro. Didn't you watch Black Adam?
Oh my, you're right. I erased.
Yeah, he did that already.
I erased Black Adam from my memory because it was such a trash heap. Like, oh my, dumpster fire. I don't want to go there. I don't want to go there because I will have a 1 hour tirade on how the movie was so bad because apparently he has it in his contract. He cannot look bad.
Yeah. Okay. You know what? Let's. We already have enough of a preamble. I think most of the fans or most of the listeners want to hear our thoughts on what happened this weekend. The Royal Rumble 2024.
Oh, wait.
I do not know whether you want to talk anymore about Vince McMahon, but I'm giving it out right now, Mr.
We are skipping. No. Hold on. There's a lot of shit, literally, to unpack with Vincent Kennedy McMahon. Did you see the clip? I think you might have shared it on our Instagram, right? Of that whole angle with Mr. America where he put Vince McMahon through a polygraph. And then the quote was like, "Are you a disgusting, perverted creep?" And then he's like, no. Yes, you are. Okay, look. When the story came out, right? Like, what was your initial reaction? Because, we've heard rumblings. There have been reports about, like NDAs, hush money being paid, like allegations of sexual impropriety, that kind of stuff. But to this extent, you know what I mean? Like, for me, the shock was the extent of it, not the fact that it happened. And I don't know if this is just an indictment of rich old guys or whatever, right?
Thinking they can get away with things, right?
But this is like, wow. Okay.
Yeah.
Like, did you think it would be that bad?
Okay, I'll tell you how and when did I find out about this, right? I remember I was getting ready for work, and then somebody shared, like the Variety or the Wall Street Journal article, and there was a link. And like, okay, I just click on the link, and then they said like, oh, there's a 67-page lawsuit. So I didn't even make it any way through the article. I literally read the lawsuit PDF itself, which was like in the first paragraph of the article.
By the way, somebody shared
pages.
Somebody shared it on our Discord. You can check it out.
Yes, correct. It's live. It's publicly available. This is public record. And I read every single line. Bro, every single line became progressively the worst, most fucked up sex novel of all time. It's like 50 Shades of what the fuck is going on. Like every single line.
It's 50 Shades of shit is what it is.
No, bro, literally, it started off very innocent. It started off like this lady.
Well, hang on. None of it is innocent.
No.
Or tame or anything like that. But I get your point.
I'm just saying that progressively it was very,
It just escalated. The phrase that escalated quickly comes to mind. I'll tell you where I was. 100. Yeah. I'll tell you where I was. I was in. Have you heard of this chain of restaurants in Malaysia called the Chicken Rice Shop?
Yeah.
Yeah, I was in the middle of the chicken rice shop. I mean, you imagine, like, it was like lunchtime. A lot of people, I was at the premium outlets in Genting, right? And then the families were there with their kids. And then I was reading this thing, and just like you, at first I was like, oh, okay, yeah, whatever. Oh my God, that's terrible. And then when it gets to like the really crazy parts, I literally said out loud, what the fuck? And in this family restaurant with families and kids sitting, I'm like, oh, and then my wife was like, hey, quiet, got kids here. I was like, oh my God. That was where I was when it happened.
God.
Okay.
And you know what? The worst part was I have a group of friends who like are lapsed wrestling fans who are like they know The Rock, they know Vince McMahon, blah, blah, but they don't watch since the Attitude Era.
Yeah.
And then one of my friends shared the whole link, and then he was like, bro, I thought Vince McMahon was just a character.
Yeah.
He asked like that, he was like, I thought this guy is just a character. Why is he doing this for real? Then I'm like, bro, he is his character. That's the problem.
Okay, so all joking aside, obviously, right? If he is in fact guilty of all the allegations, then it just seems like, the phrase absolute power corrupts absolutely. It's like this. You just watch what he used to do with the Trish Stratus, with the Stacy Keeblers, right? And Sables and whatnot. The way he would, quote unquote, control, literally get hot chicks to make out with him because it was part of the deal, part of the storyline, whatever, which he controlled. It's almost like a cliche, but it's like, he has the creative control, so he gets to make out with all the hottest chicks. It's like a joke, but also it's not, because it's the reality of it, right? And then you fast forward to a time now in his career, in his life, where he's no longer sort of that creative head booker person anymore. And I wonder if in a way he sort of craved that. He's like, it's almost as if like that character became him. You know what I mean? Like, and he has the power, he has the authority. And so it's not even a sexual thing. It's like a power play. I can do it because I can get away with it. Sort of effed up mentality, right? And it happens with a lot of these ultra rich, ultra powerful people, because people will, to save their jobs, to save their livelihoods, for the money, whatever it is, will agree to things that they may not deep down inside want. Now, some might say, well, she got paid off, quote unquote. She got a lot of like gifts, but that doesn't excuse, obviously, the things that he did, right? Like the quote unquote sharing with other people. I use sharing very, very loosely, by the way, that term. And then the one very graphic description of how they were in. I don't even know if I can even talk about it on YouTube. But in one of the incidents, he defecated on her hair while she was still in the deed with somebody else. Who knows who the other guy is? And
oh my God!
Look, y'all have read it probably, so y'all know what I'm talking about. And then it's like, okay, I ask myself, if you are into some weird ass kink, right? And I'm not here to kink shame anybody. Look. There are people who are into that kind of stuff, whatever, right? It's not for us, not for most of us, but maybe you're into that stuff. Why not hire a professional? That has been brought up. Because I think this is not about a kink. This is about, his kink is power, is dominating somebody to a point where, it makes him feel good, right? And I don't know if it's because he no longer has that power in the creative sense on the screen. So that's why he's like, he needs to scratch that horrendous itch.
Yeah, I agree, right? Somebody also mentioned that, if she wasn't hired to be part of WWE, if she was just his live-in girlfriend, does that constitute, all these allegations? Because this can just be a very interestingly fucked up sexual relationship with a partner, with your girlfriend . But I think the issue is not that. I think the fact that he used her as a pawn in deals, in trying to get, his wrestlers to resign, and passing it around to his underlings, to John Laurinaitis, apparently. Like, if you think about it, like, that's the issue. The issue is you are literally hiring someone to be your sex slave, and you're using company money, or like, that is the issue. And also, I read about her story as well. Apparently she just really literally just wanted a job, and she kind of like felt that her life was being controlled and she had no way out. And of course you have to believe the victim, because for them to come out and say all these things, there's got to be some truth in it. But of course, they have to play it out in the court of law. But my question is, right, if you are gonna pay someone an NDA, right?
Yeah.
And then you pay 1 million out of your 3 million, then after that you cabut and run.
See, I don't, okay, that is the other part of this whole sordid affair that kind of makes me go, you agreed to pay a $3 million NDA. Why not pay it all out? Why would you want this to go out? Why would you stop at 1 mil? Like, I don't understand that. Like, as if you don't have the money. Like, what is going on? So, okay.
I'm not saying that the reason why she suddenly bring out these allegations is because she didn't get paid.
No, but it does seem very weird, doesn't it?
Yeah. Man, so, like, at the end of the day, it's I don't know what else to say other than, like, this is the end of Vince McMahon. Like, there can't be a way back. There can't be a way back to this, right?
There is, if somehow he can prove that all those texts were doctored. But you see, that's the thing. Maybe it was part of their kink where he would talk to her like that in text. You know what I mean? You never know with these people. I mean, like, there are millions and millions of kinks, people with all sorts of fetishes and whatnot, right? So I guess it boils down to consent. But can you consent when the person perpetrating this on you has power on you? See, that it's a whole thing that is going to make an incredible season of Dark Side of the Ring in a few years' time. You know what I mean?
It's gonna be it's gonna be a limited series. It's gonna be like a Michael Jordan, The Last Dance. Well, like the last shit.
I tell you what, it will never be on Netflix.
Why if he was on Netflix? Why if Netflix did a documentary to shit on Vince McMahon?
Cannot lah, bro. His entire legacy is there now for the next 10 years at WWE. So, I mean, unless they prove that she somehow faked a whole bunch of stuff, blah, 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 you're right. There is no coming back, and nor should there be a return for Vince McMahon, because his legacy is completely tarnished in the worst way possible.
Do you hear some of the reports saying that, you know, the reason why Stephanie left the company is because she did her digging and found out that this might be true. And when she stepped up to become the co-chairman at that point in time, when Vince was away, was like, she thought, okay, she's going to step up and help her family. But as she found out about the reports and, that there might be some truth in it, when Vince McMahon did come back to power, she was like, I'm done. I'm not going to get involved in this shit. I'm going to walk away. I think there was some reports about that.
That makes a lot of sense.
There's also another report with Shane McMahon saying that Shane McMahon had a big falling out with Vince because of his behavior, because he did not want to be like him.
Yeah, he found out there were some sort of rumblings about these sort of dealings, and then there's a lot of talk of like, oh well, if he liked to share so much, was some of his generals involved? Like the Undertaker. I mean, Brock Lesnar was allegedly sort of kind of mentioned in that he tried to share her with a top tier athlete who's a UFC star. Like, who else, right?
It's not Ronda Rousey. I mean, unless they're into this lesbian stuff.
I don't know about that. But yeah, so like this whole sordid, it really is just a big pun not intended, but I guess when it fits, it's a giant shit stain on the pro wrestling scene.
But to be honest, right, none of us are surprised because he has actively played up this character his entire career.
See,
right?
Like, there is, okay, fine, I get where you're going with that, but it's the severity that I think shocked a lot of people. It's not that he was a philanderer. If he were a philanderer, I'm like, okay, yeah, he played it out on TV, now he's playing out in real life, I get it, right? He's, whatever. I'm not saying it's a good thing, I'm not saying I condone it, I'm just saying I wouldn't be surprised. It's the level at which
there are levels to this, Mr. Young.
Yeah, I guess because, like, his position, right? Like, just regular philandering is not enough for him. No, he must make people do this, that, the other. Like, oh my God. So, let's boil it down. I think that this court case, and this, comes from many years of watching The Practice and Boston Legal.
Law and Order Special Victims Unit. That was my
that was your show. I love lawyer show.
Yeah, that was my show.
The knowledge I have of the American legal system comes from all these lawyer shows, by the way. I even watched Felicity back in the day. See if any of you remember that. See if you're old enough. But it really just hinges on consent. If it doesn't hinge on the fact that she made all this up, if they can prove it, right? If she consented to all this and somehow they, managed to convince a jury that, she consented to all this, then it doesn't take away from the fact that he did it, but if she consented to it, it's still disgusting, but, then there's no guilty verdict.
So the problem is, right, Do you know how he managed to get her to consent? I mean, if you read the lawsuit,
How?
he told her, "I love you."
Oh, wow.
Like he
Yeah.
asked to do the threesome, and then she said she's not comfortable, and then he said, "No, the guy already come here. My friendship's on the line. You gotta do it for me." Blah blah blah.
Yeah.
And then he said, "But I love you. That's why I do it." I'm like, oh, what? Like, you know what I mean? I've never. Okay.
Maybe in a sick. Well, look. Okay. We all friends, right? Let's be real here.
Yeah.
We've said some shit to get laid. All right.
Yeah.
We've said some shit to get laid.
Really, Mr. Young? I thought you're like that. You just like that, already.
No. I'm just saying a lot. I'm talking from not experience, from inference and friend. Okay, but you get my point.
Into a hole, Mr. Young.
I know.
Okay.
No. Yes. So anyway. Oh, Ally McBeal. There you go. Ally McBeal is another one lawyer show.
Oh, I used to. Oh, this is late 90s, early 2000 shit, man.
Vince Riz game be like, please, I buy you this, I buy you that, I buy you car, I buy you Nostrum gift voucher, I buy you this. Look, I'm not surprised. I'm not surprised that he, a person who dedicated, we all have heard the stories of how ridiculously focused he is on his business, right? That he has literally zero idea how to court a woman. That literally he thinks that he can just buy his way into anything. I'm not surprised in the least.
Yep. I mean, that's the thing, right? Like, you know, when it comes to Riz game, right? The men who I feel like can get girls very easily are the most lepa, the most chill.
Your guy, bro. Your guy. CM Punk,
Yeah,
bro.
Yeah, that's why I think CM Punk's Riz game. You all better observe how he does his Riz game. The girls are all over him, man.
Yeah.
But the point is, right? Like, you can't be desperate, bro. You can't. Oh man, the guys, don't be desperate, guys. Just gotta do your thing, you know, be yourself.
It occurs to me, right, that this whole like macho act obviously is a front for somebody who maybe, you know, dedicated his entire life to doing one thing and therefore has not developed in other ways, like being a good human being.
Yeah. Sometimes it's just as easy as being a good person. You think John Cena need to fight hard to get girls?
No,
bro.
Wow.
I mean, sorry, not Nikki Bella lah, but the point is like, just look at Randy Orton. Another one.
Yeah.
I mean, Randy Orton probably the same fucked upness or could have been gone down the route of Vince McMahon.
Yeah.
But he doesn't need to because you know, I'm just confident in myself and that's it.
See, Fiaz brings up the point, right? And I think we're on the same train of thought there because we've watched a lot of horror shows. The problem with being filthy rich, too much money can do anything. Have you watched the movie Hostel, bro?
Hostel, Eli Roth
movie about the one where all these rich people pay to, you know, to do very bad things to people. So
I think I watched it.
Yeah. So it's that idea of the absolutely rich people who can do and buy anything, having like, you know, regular sex is just not enough for them. Cheating is not enough for them because it's like I can get there anytime. I just pay only. It's nothing to me, right? And so there's this weird switch that turns off that we can never. We're all very regular people. We don't have that sort of money to buy you a car, buy you, you know, gift vouchers and stuff like that. Get you hired at the WWE, you know.
Yeah, but even if I had that money, I wouldn't waste it on all this, bro. I mean, like, do some smart things with that money, bro.
What is this? Prudent investments. Buy a landed property.
Buy investment property for your family. That kind of shit. I'm gonna waste time and throw $15,000 on a girl. I mean, come on. Unless my girlfriend asks me for it, then I will try my best, But
we say it because we've never lived that life. I'm not trying to defend anybody. I'm just saying, you know, sometimes being ultra rich has its downsides. It devalues everything. You know. That being said, all right. I wonder if Tony Khan has any. Anyway, let's move on.
Okay, let's
talking about being filthy rich, right? Okay, no.
Okay,
he just, you know what? If I'll give him credit, he just wastes his money on hiring wrestlers. At least he's very clean, very, you know, he's ruining careers, but it's fine.
Yeah, I mean, okay, if he's a nerd, right, or like a geek, right, and his king is like, I want to build the best wrestling company that I wrote on my notebook.
That's great.
Okay, fine.
There's nothing wrong.
We just make fun of him here and there, but you know, at the end of the day, he's a good-hearted guy. Then
Yeah, that's fine. Yeah, that's absolutely cool. Absolutely not what Vince did. Or is alleged to have done, excuse me. Is alleged to have done. Like, okay, here's the thing. Just to try to wrap it up a little bit. He is going to have the most high-powered lawyers you can imagine on his side. All right? So, just to see how this plays out, my God.
It's gonna be there. It's gonna be fun, and we're gonna be all there for it, I guess.
Oh God.
Yeah. It's gonna be a bigger lawsuit than Johnny Depp and Amber Heard, I'm pretty sure.
Oh yeah, for sure. I wonder if it will be shown on like like they have the court TV and stuff like that. Dude, can you imagine?
Are we gonna review that shit, Mr. Young?
If it does happen, we are going to review it live. What are you talking about, bro? I don't care if it's 5 a.m. in the morning. I'm gonna wake up. I'm gonna watch that shit, and we can all hang out and watch it at the same time. If we're
gonna do a live stream, bro. Stream reaction.
Live stream of the steaming piles of that he apparently allegedly on people.
Oh dear. Shout out to Fias, man. I appreciate you having confidence in my ability to book better than Tony Khan. I do not know, man, because I think I might fall into the Tony Khan problem, bro.
Oh yeah, he might hire CM Punk and put him at number 1 and just beat everybody, give him the John Cena treatment.
No, I'm not here to make money. I'm here to make friends.
By the way, Tovakin, weed is probably not what he spends his money on. It's probably on speed, because weed mellows you down. He's taking something
a bit
else.
Icier.
Yeah,
something a bit icier.
He is on something that will speed him up, not the other way around. We will slow you down. So he's just like Adderall. Adderall is what the kids apparently in the US take.
Damn. Okay, well, that was a fun first hour of the podcast.
Oh boy,
and we've barely even talked about the Royal Rumble.
I hate that. You see that, and Triple H and Cody talked about it at the press conferences as well, right? It's like I hate that this took away from an incredible week in the WWE. A question, just a random thought. The timing seems very right. Like the fact that immediately, like 2 days, was it 2 days? 1 day after the big Netflix deal, this court case came out. So I'm like, what? How come the timing so soon, man?
I think they purposely they want to attack WWE at its most highest peak, like literally get the fallout immediately, right? But that's what happens when you are a big deal, right? The top company in the world, you always have people that want to put you down a peg. Choose the most opportune time to do so, right? So I'm not surprised actually.
Yeah, I was very like, oh my, like it does seem, or it could be just conspiracy talk, right? Maybe it's really just coincidence. It was going to happen anyway. It just so happened that it came out. Like, how would the person who's suing know that the Netflix deal was going to happen and then get together a court case so fast?
No, I mean it's probably been prepared, in the previous months, and I think they're just waiting for the right time to put it out. I think they were just waiting. But what's your thoughts on the comments that Triple H made, Cody Rhodes made about the allegations? Because in my opinion, I thought Cody Rhodes was a much better PR man in the way he answered that questions than Triple H. So I was very impressed by that.
I love that Cody has suddenly become the company man. I mean, his time in AEW, I think really, he groomed himself. He made himself into that guy, right? So good on him. Obviously, WWE see a lot of value in him as being the figurehead, right? As the John Cena guy, the guy who's smiling on all the posters, goes out to, shake hands and stuff like that. Yeah, I mean, Triple H is a little bit too close to the situation. So, he did say he didn't read it. Come on. They were probably already rumblings.
Somebody would have briefed him.
Yeah, he probably... Was there ever a shit bath in segment? Oh my God.
Shit bath?
DX.
What do you mean?
Didn't DX pour manure on Vince on one episode of Raw?
Yeah, 2006, I remember that.
Was it Vince or the Spirit Squad?
No, both. So, DX pour shit on the Spirit Squad and then pour shit on Vince and Shane McMahon. So,
what you're saying is Vince McMahon wrote this segment because he had a kink for shitting on people?
I do not know lah. Maybe, you know what? Maybe he tell all his people, right? I'm willing to take shit in my head. So I think it's okay for me to want to shit on people's head because I'm willing to do it myself. Because he always say, Mr. Young, I will never do something that I wouldn't be willing to do it myself.
Yes, like jumping off the thing. There was that famous clip of him jumping off a scaffolding, right? To show, was it Gronk that it could be done?
Gronk.
Yeah.
Correct.
Oh my God! This has come back to bite him in the ass. Yeah, see, it's something I wouldn't, I would get done to me, so you can have it done to you as well.
Are you saying that he leads by example in all ways?
He leads by example in more than one way. Oh, jeez, that's a TikTok video, right? Oh my god, that's
okay. Okay.
Okay.
Royal Rumble.
Let's talk about the Royal Rumble, man. It was hard for me to watch this because I was in Genting. I didn't have a lot of data, and okay. The thing about Genting, right? I'm sure a lot of you have gone up to Genting. Have you gone up to Genting before?
Yeah. I've done it once, I think, in my life.
Yeah. So
It's been a while. Yeah.
I paid for like the cheapest hotel, the first world hotel they call it. Because half the time you're out gambling or shopping or whatever, right? So it's like whatever, like just simple one. There was no Wi-Fi, so I was like, on roaming data, so I couldn't watch the Rumble. So what I did, I tried to stay off social media. But even though like I knew Sunday morning, I had to post like on my Instagram some random photos and stuff like that. So this is what I did. I had my phone in my hand, right? I was like, okay, I'm going to post. So I just covered. I did this. I covered. This is how I post. Okay, all right. When I logged on to Instagram, and then I got the women's Royal Rumble spot for me. Because I saw, I saw what happened. I was like, oh, shit. Never mind. Okay. Through the rest of the day, I was like, okay, I'm not going to touch my phone. Must save roaming. Once in a while we were just sitting there, after finishing lunch.
Couldn't help yourself.
I couldn't help myself, man. I'm like, okay, well, and then, I saw that, the men's Royal Rumble winner. It was so tough. But
I'm sorry, Mr. Young. I think it's impossible for you to... To avoid being spoiled in this age.
Yeah, it is absolutely, and considering what I do as well, right? So, it is what it is. Let's talk about it. Did you know? Okay, I noticed this. I don't know if it's because I noticed the details, but from a production standpoint, there were a lot of differences. Did you notice?
Yes, a lot of new things.
Yeah. Did you notice the drone cam?
Yeah, that was pretty cool shot.
That one was taken from UFC. UFC has been doing that for a while already.
Like the drone shot before an event starts or during the matches. Right?
Yeah, like to show the whole crowd, right? And I don't know what it is, but I think sometimes the drone whack into things because did you notice some of it was wobbly?
Well, I didn't notice per se. I mean, I did appreciate some new things or they bringing back old things. Like one of the things that I really appreciated was at the start of the show, they show like various shots of all the wrestlers coming into the arena.
Oh yeah.
And that was something that, used to happen all the time at, the Attitude Era where all the wrestlers are preparing backstage or warming up. Like they do all these warm-up shots. I think that was pretty cool. Even UFC does that, right? Like when they are preparing backstage. Yes. So I like that little production tactic that they did. Another thing that I enjoyed from the Rumble, I don't know whether have you watched it in its entirety yet?
Yeah, yes, I have.
Yeah. So, during the course of the match, they actually had the time code or like... the people that's lasting the longest in the match, and I thought that was a really cool flourish. To kind of like know what's happening at that point in time.
I was about to bring that up, actually, Bailey has lasted for however many, right? Like like a leaderboard sort of a deal, lah.
Correct.
That is your sports-based presentation, law. Like,
yeah, exactly, right.
It made it more interesting. I was like, oh, okay, that's pretty cool, actually, especially if they are going for breaking records. Records will mean something if people can track it. And track it in a live setting, right? I will say this though, I don't know if you've ever noticed this, but WWE has always had a policy, and we all know that Kevin Dunn recently left, right? Their main TV producer guy. So they've always had the policy of you never see the cameraman in shot. I don't know if you noticed this. But in the WWE, you never see a cameraman. If a cameraman is seen, somebody probably got effed in the back. Like somebody confirm kena scolding. In the Rumble, you saw a lot of it. So I'm like, is this because they are a little bit more relaxed on that rule? Or it's the new guy and he's just not as... They're trying too many new things and so they're a bit, kalang kabut. It's like, oh shit, we got the cameraman in the shot.
Yeah. But I had never thought that was an issue though, in my opinion.
That is 100% an issue because A, I noticed it. B, I've read before that like they never want the cameraman to be in the shot. And if it's a cameraman is in the shot, it's a mistake.
But why do people see it as an issue to see the camera? Because I think that actually adds to the fact that it's live and things are being filmed.
I think it's a Vince McMahon thing. It's one of those things.
Okay.
Like Like, go back and watch. Now, you pay attention. You go back and watch every Raw, SmackDown, whatever. You rarely see a cameraman. Rarely.
Okay. Okay. Well, I mean, I personally don't think it's a big deal because I feel like everybody knows that this whole place or whole issue is being filmed, right?
Yeah.
And the fact that when they say wow, they're fighting in the crowd, get a cameraman there to follow the action, like that actually adds to this frenetic nature that anything can happen. So I would rather have that being shown.
So I wonder if it's because Kevin Dunn was kicked out, and maybe it was a Kevin Dunn thing, maybe it wasn't a Vince McMahon thing, right? Now that Kevin Dunn is gone, they're like, okay, let's see some cameramen, let's make this a little bit more raw, pardon the pun.
Yeah, but again, I think one of the criticisms with WWE is everything's so polished, everything is so sterile, right? In the production, in the presentation.
Yeah.
So this is a much better, decision in my opinion.
Okay, well, I like that you put it that way. Oh, I just had a random thought, right? Because, and this is super random, by the way. I recently started at a gym, do boxing Muay Thai, right? And the guy the main guy, he used to work for One. And a lot of the former video editors from WWE, some of them moved over to One. And he was telling me stories about how ridiculously, they're literally under pressure all the time. Like, Vince would change. We've all heard stories of Vince changing the script literally 5 minutes before going on the show, right? And these video editors are literally, with minutes, they have to edit portions and put it out onto live TV.
Wow.
And they would tell stories about how it was like absolute pressure cooker. And then coming to One, you can see they are just cold. They literally have no emotion. They can edit something within literal seconds to put out on the big screen.
This is crazy to say, but isn't that the best training ever?
It is.
You're gonna try with any environment.
Yeah, they were forged in the fight. Like, diamonds are created under pressure, right? That's the whole idea. So I just thought it was super amusing that I heard that. I was like, oh, okay, wow. I never really thought of it that way.
Yeah, and I mean, we know, we've tried to edit videos on our end. It's a strenuous process, and sometimes you need to be super critical and you need to be, what's that word? You cannot make mistakes. Cannot be careless.
You have to be very exact. You have to be perfect. Like Mr. Perfect. So sometimes when you see somebody come out and then the wrong name card comes out, it's like, it's probably Vince last minute going to make them go and change or something like that,
But again, on the flip side, I mean, you're creating a very toxic environment, man. A very stressful environment at work. And you can tell the difference, right? Everyone's more relaxed, in WWE these days.
Yeah.
The vibe is better, and that's what you should want to strive for in any working environment.
So I mean, I don't mean to go back, but it's it's almost as if Vince lost that control factor. He got off on controlling his multi-billion-dollar company, right? He controlled every aspect of it. He no longer has it. So it's almost as if he had to funnel it to some other avenue, which is, this poor lady lah.
Yeah, definitely. Poor girl. Okay, let's start talking about the women's rumble, because it's the first thing that we saw, right?
I'm sorry, one more sidetrack.
Mr. Young, I'm trying to keep you in time, Mr. Young, but sure, let's go.
What was that?
Tell me your truth.
Not only do I want to watch the court case, I want to watch the psych evaluation of Vince McMahon. I want the transcripts from his psychiatrist after this whole goddamn thing is done.
Bro, I tell you, his biography is gonna be he's gonna be like a HBO Game of Thrones level series, bro. It's gonna be Succession level, bro. This big man, right? His life story can be a Emmy award winning series, I tell you.
Okay, let's talk about the Royal Rumble.
Just make Bradley Cooper visit me. I don't know. For some reason I see him as the guy. But anyway, yes.
Was there even a pre-show? No, right? No pre-show. I didn't watch.
No, there wasn't. I mean, bro, 4 matches and it was 3 hours long. Yeah. I don't know how do you like the pacing of the show?
I love it. I think that Triple H understands that 4 hours, 5 hours of wrestling is too much. You want to do the whole 6-hour deal? Yeah, do it at WrestleMania 2 days. So it gives people time to rest, time to breathe. Something that Tony Khan doesn't understand apparently.
Yeah. I think you need to let the moments breathe. I agree with you, Mr. Young. But I also feel like you could get more into more of the matches and the stakes of the matches. Like for me, I could watch Logan Paul versus Kevin Owens and really get into it, not thinking that this might be cut for timing or they won't really put in that much effort, right? So that was a great thing. Great decision starting the show with Women's Royal Rumble. I mean, I think they should do that as like for going forward for everything. Okay, I know a lot of people have been talking on social media, but between the two Rumbles overall, which one you preferred?
I I preferred the Women's Rumble because I don't know what it just felt more exciting. They had more moments, but there were a lot more botches also. I know it's a taboo word to say, to wrestlers, but there were more sloppiness. There was more sloppiness in the Women's Rumble than the Men's Rumble. But from an entertainment standpoint, I enjoyed the Women's Rumble more. Well, chat, weigh in. Women's Rumble, Men's Rumble, which one did you like better?
Yeah, I agree with you. My opinion was that the Royal Rumble, for it to be a successful Royal Rumble, you need to deliver on surprises.
Yeah.
You need to deliver on returns, and you need to have like a storyline thread that goes throughout the match, right?
Yeah.
I feel like the Women's Royal Rumble achieved all those three metrics. The men's only achieved 2 out of 3. So what I mean by that, right? Like for the women, right? They achieved the metric of a storyline running through with Bayley, damage control, Nia Jax, Becky even. They had great surprises like Liv Morgan returning, Jade Cargill, which was expected. You always knew that she was gonna debut somewhere big, but the one out of the box surprise that no one expected, Jordan Grace, like
from TNA. Shit. Yeah.
From TNA. Like, even if you do not know anything about her, the fact that, they are mentioning TNA in WWE, that was the mind-blowing thing.
When Jordan Grace was there, when Jade Cargill, like, you looked at Bianca Belair, you looked at all these, like, alpha females, like, legit athletes that could F you up. I'm like, wow, that looks good. Yeah, I mean, don't get me started. I don't want to get started on, the whole, like, it's just not the same when you watch AEW and you see like freaking Riho beating up Tony Storm, stuff that doesn't make sense. Like you watch them, you go, oh wow, they all look amazing.
Yeah. Okay, what's the difference between Jade Cargill's presentation in AEW and now WWE? Look, short cameo.
You know that she was protected. She went in there, House of Fire, did big moves, I mean, the whole thing was like her getting rid of Nia Jax, right? It was to show off her power, her strength. Like, and this was very obviously set up. I don't sound like it's a negative thing, but it was set up in a way where Nia Jax comes out, clears people, like she was eliminating everybody. She's the powerhouse. She's the monster. Nobody can stop Nia Jax. And then Jade Cargill comes out to get the shine, right? So that was the whole setup, the whole way through.
Yep. I also agree that Jade Cargill, the difference to me between AEW and WWE was I felt everything that is being done in WWE feels very purposeful. Like you know that they have a plan for her. Right? Like while in AEW, yes, she was a TBS champion, yes, she was undefeated. But do you remember exactly what she did in that 1 year plus where she was a champion?
I only remember Brandy's promo.
And that was at the start. That was literally her debut.
What was it?
Who said this was open mic night, bitch?
But yeah, no, that's exactly it. It's the presentation. We all know that she's limited in her like in-ring ability now. She looks great. She's got the X factor. So you cover her flaws by having her in a multi-person match, which is the Royal Rumble.
Yeah, agree. And I know, and I'm very confident WWE has a plan for her. Be it maybe a future match with Bianca Belair. Maybe she, goes back to NXT, becomes the NXT Women's Champion first. I do not know what it is, but the point is, she will have a plan, and she will end up becoming a much bigger star than she was going into WWE. So, and this was the first step, right? She was hella impressive. We forgot to mention as well Naomi returning to WWE. And again, I think having this partnership with TNA, having the ability for people to leave WWE for a while, do stuff in other promotions, it refreshes Naomi. Because for a while, right, Naomi was very, very I would
Bland.
say very cold, very
Yep.
bland.
Mm.
Like she was boring in WWE, but her going to TNA actually refreshed her. So by the time she came back in that whole Naomi gimmick, we were excited to see her. Right?
It's funny, right? Like, because the past couple of months we had been talking about how the women's division was a bit cold. And
Yep.
watching the two rumbles, right? I feel like there were more people popping off of the entrance in the women's rumble than the men's rumble. I wonder if it's there are two trains of thought here. One, a lot of these wrestlers need to have better music because a lot of their music's so generic. It's like, who the heck is coming out? I don't know if you felt that way, but when the music plays, everyone's like sitting on their hands until the person shows up.
Yeah, agreed. And I also feel that for some reason, a lot of the wrestlers that actually had very nice or recognizable theme songs, either they have been updated or WWE changed their theme song to the point that, like, when Ciampa came out, I was like, who the fuck is this? Oh, it's Ciampa,
Yeah.
Like, they didn't have the songs that we know from NXT, right?
It's a rights and a money issue, and I think they don't want to spend on people who are not quote unquote draws. Like if you are CM Punk, then of course you get In Living Color. Of course, Cody gets Kingdom, right? Like, but if you are like in a mid card, so that's the problem. I feel like last time the mid carders had very recognizable tunes as well. Now a lot of mid carders have like the most bland, generic rock number 5 themes.
Yeah, before we talk about the men's rumble, my favorite moment from the women's rumble, other than the fact that all the women performed really, really great, I mean, generally, R-Truth, bro, R-Truth entering the women's.
R-Truth is having this resurgence right now. Like, he's an absolute treasure. We must protect R-Truth at all costs, right? Like, okay, so know he was going to come out and do some like bodo thing lah for comedic effect. But I the fact that he came out during the women's rumble was like, oh, that's so funny. Like, he's like, what has he done before? He's come into the rumble with a ladder, thinking it was a ladder match.
Yeah, he did that. I think he's officially the first. If you don't count Santina Marella, he's the first man that's entered the Women's Royal Rumble.
Well, technically he didn't enter lah. He was just there, like, being a fool, and then Johnny Sins had to send him back.
He thought like, it's a Rumble, right? Isn't this the Royal Rumble match? Why is there all women? Where's the man? I remember he looked at Zelina Vega. He was like, "Where's the man?"
Yeah, Chelsea Green was actually really, really funny as well. I thought I enjoyed her nonsense.
Chelsea and Piper Niven, I thought was great characters in the match.
Okay,
some people that
Let me quickly run down the list and just quickly give your thoughts on how they did. Right? Okay, Natalia. I mean, she is a stalwart lah. She's just there.
We appreciate her lah. We know what's her role, so she got it off cooking. Naomi.
Big return. It's interesting to see where she goes from here. She was eliminated by Jade Cargill, so I don't know what that means. She also was the second longest in this Rumble, by the way, to last. So that must mean something. Like, they're giving her a bit of a, hey, she's back and she's great.
Yeah. Interestingly, she came back without Mercedes money, right? That was one of my predictions that she would come.
That is a great point. I completely forgot about it. And we've read the rumors about how Mercedes, aka Sasha Banks, asked for way too much money. And I wonder if in a lot of ways they're like, okay, you want to be a diva about it? Let's just bring back Naomi instead.
Yeah. You know what? We always, praise Sasha Banks. We've always known that her value. But I think she's a bit big-headed, in my opinion.
A bit lah, a bit.
I think she buys too much into her hype, thinking that she's the best. But I don't think she's proven herself on the level of a Bianca Belair or like even Rhea Ripley. Like, I think Bianca has surpassed Sasha Banks in that role.
I agree. And it's a shame because, she obviously brings something to the table. It's just that for whatever reason, I think maybe you're right. Like, she's bought too much into her own hype.
So I'm more than happy Naomi came back without Sasha. Maybe Mercedes money can do a run in AEW and realize it's shit like CM Punk, and then like, okay, you know what, I'm gonna crawl back, tail between my legs, and go back to WWE.
Oh boy. Number 3, Bayley, the eventual winner. This was the perfect booking, was it not? Like, technically she was still a heel, right? She's still Damage Control. So you had to give her something that the crowd could cheer for, i.e. being the Iron Woman.
We both called it, right, Mr. Yami, on our TikTok predictions. Bayley was the woman, because I felt like, I don't know whether a lot of people still remember, but Bayley and Sasha Banks was actually the MVPs of the pandemic era. Like, Bailey was the SmackDown Women's Champion. She was a long-running champion during that era without any fans. And unfortunately, I think in WrestleMania 37, where the fans did come back, she didn't even actually have a match. She couldn't even defend the title, which was like a shame. So this is her redemption story, in my opinion.
I think so. And it's almost like Triple H rewarding her for her long service. And it's like, okay, now it's your time to shine, right? And we both called it in our predictions. This is probably going to lead them down the road of Bailey versus Io Sky.
The Damage Control's Bloodline Civil War equivalent, I suppose, right?
Let's move on. Candice, oh good lord. Flat. Nobody popped. Like, her music played, nobody knew what it was.
Talk about generic music. Nobody knows what was the music.
That's the thing. Music played, nobody knows. She come out, nobody care. So, you know, she's just kind of lower mid-card there, right? Oh, when Jordan Grace came out, like, I had no idea who she was. But you just look at her, you're like, oh, okay, there's a horse.
Okay, you never seen her work in TNA before, Mr. Young?
No, I have not.
Yeah, she let's just say she had a very Gunther-like body transformation, right?
Oh,
so she was a big size girl, like a Piper Niven size, and then she actually went super shredded. So like now she's like a beast, lah.
Right. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if she somehow makes the jump at some point, right? Like, she looks like somebody who will at some point be a big star in the WWE.
Yeah, I think she's already a star, and I think a lot of people are now seeing her value. So kudos to her for this performance.
Right. Indy Hartwell. Oh, sorry.
Sorry, no, I wanted to say, do you remember how she was eliminated? It was a pretty badass elimination.
She was eliminated by Bianca, right?
Yeah, the KOD of the apron, the side of the apron.
Yeah.
And I thought, like, in my opinion, I was like, okay, Triple H definitely wanted to put over the TNA champion strong, even in elimination. So yeah,
for sure. Indy Hartwell, once again, she was kind of there to be eliminated. So interestingly, right, like, does her wrestling style kind of mirror a certain Dante Chen? Like, I don't know. Is it because she's lanky?
Really?
I don't know. Like, I might think that was somebody else. Like, I don't know why, because she's a very lanky individual, right? So her punches and her clubbing blows all look very similar to somebody, and I swear it's Dante.
I don't really pay attention to India Hartwell, except for when she was the girlfriend of Dexter Loomis.
Right.
So I actually haven't really paid attention to her stuff, but I know she is deceptively big size, right?
Yeah,
that's all I know.
She's lanky, she's long. There's a weird way of saying it, but yeah. Let's move on. Asuka, they just won the women's tag title, so she didn't really have much of a starring role here. It wasn't her time.
No, but that's the thing, right? I really don't like how they are not treating Asuka like a special attraction, because she should be the Brock Lesnar of the division.
Yeah.
Like, even if she's on like other storylines and not being prominently featured, she should always be treated like a Brock Lesnar, going into the ring, wiping out everyone.
But it's tough. It's tough now that you have a Bianca, you have Jordan Grace, you have Jade Cargill, you have Nia Jax. They all eclipse her in terms of visual look, in terms of size. You know what I mean? So I feel like Asuka needs an edge to her, a vicious edge, and not we've talked about it. Being Japanese is not a freaking gimmick. All right, she needs an edge where she's cunning, she's devious, she whatever it is. You know, she's brutal. She had that in the old NXT, the original run. Now she's a bit of a caricature to me.
But I mean, when they did to try to reinvent her last year, give her like the Kana, the clown makeup mask, I thought she did level up in terms of viciousness. But again, it's being pulled back now. Yeah.
Because there are other people. Like, you know, it's not her time lah. Like, everyone has their time, but it's now not her time. It's time she's now settled into sort of like not say mid card, but you know what I mean. She's sort of like upper mid card. Anytime she wants to get pushed up, she can be. Ivy Nile. Okay, watching NXT, right, and her in the Rumble, I feel like she has a lot of potential to be that.
She reminds me of who or not?
Crash Holly. No.
You
because Crash Holly's short. Who?
Oh yeah, because she's short, is it?
Yeah.
No, she reminded me a bit like she could be this generation's Luna Vachon without the craziness. Like, she had the style of a Luna Vachon.
Is it because she's just super jacked? Like, I feel like she could be that scrappy, like Butch, if Butch was booked properly.
Yeah. What's your caveat with her? Like, what do you think she has to improve on?
She needs to go back NXT and polish up. There were a lot. I felt like there were a lot of spots where her timing was off. Things were botched. Was this her first Rumble? Maybe it's just jitters. I don't know what it was, but I feel like
it is her first Rumble. Okay. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, well, there you go. I feel like maybe she needs a bit more time to cook, lah.
Yeah, I mean, she's paired up with the Creed brothers. She did have like a one-on-one match with Rhea Ripley on Raw. Yep. They are seasoning her, so I do admit that yes, there were a lot of so-called miscom in this Rumble. But I like that the seasoned veterans, the Asukas or whoever, the Natalias are there to guide all this newer talent. Like Ivy now will come good. I'm pretty very high on her potential. She got a look as well. If she can put like her in-ring game and her promo game together, we got another potential star. So
Average says she botched the kip up. I remember that. She was kipping up against who? Somebody else, right? They were doing like a showdown thing, and then she go and kip up, and then she botched it. I was like, oh, ouch, that. But let's
it's nerves lah. I don't think she can't do it.
Yeah. She probably done it 1,000 times backstage, and then now do it in front of like thousands of people. She screwed it up.
Yeah.
Oh, is it? Ivy Nile and Jade Cargill were friends. Maybe they're training together. But whatever it is.
What's that? What do you mean till they had that backstage interaction? What do you mean? What interaction was this?
Is it on their social media or what? Let's move on. Katana Chance. I'm sorry, but Katana Chance and Kaden Carter as a team, they were the tag team champs for a while. Nobody cared. I still don't care. Remember when they tried to make her the Kofi Kingston of Rumbles?
But she did have some really cool elimination spots though.
She did, but okay. Is her personality, that's a weird thing to say, is her gimmick just nonsense? Party girls?
No. To be fair, like when she came in, do you remember she came in from where?
American Ninja.
Yes, American Ninja Warrior. And she was actually one of like the biggest stars out of American Ninja Warrior because she had amazing flexibility, agility, whatever you call it, right? And I think that her being in this gimmick, in this tag team with Kaden Carter is just to get her to come up with some sort of personality because she's just a very nice, bland girl. But the problem is when she got this gimmick, they completely forgot about the thing that brought her to the dance in the first place, which was her amazing athleticism.
Correct. Yeah. So it just, she has no personality. I think they lean too far into the quote-unquote, let's just market them as the rave girls. What the heck?
Yeah.
Oh, we love to go rave. Woo. Like, what's that got to do with wrestling? Okay, cool, man.
I don't know lah. But Katana Chance, I think it was a missed opportunity. They should have done the Kofi Rumble spots with her in this match, but they didn't. And then
they gave that to Kairi Sane. It's another one I've always been a huge fan of, but for whatever reason, she is dead in the water right now. Like, I am sorry,
her return didn't
her return,
kind of hype that we thought.
Her return was flat. When she came out at the Rumble, nobody, there was no rumbling, there was no crowd reaction. I was like, oh my God, what is going on?
Yeah. Okay, here's the problem. I think I know why was she cut off from underneath her legs. She returned in Saudi Arabia.
Oh.
And I do not know what's the fan base of Japanese wrestling in Saudi Arabia.
No, well, okay, fair enough, right? But on Raws and SmackDowns, every time I see her pop up, there's no reaction. The fans don't care about her.
They didn't present her like that. That's a problem, right? In NXT, she was fine. Even in the pandemic period, I thought she was a star with Kabuki Warriors the first go around.
Yeah. Well, hopefully now that Papa H has the reins, right, they are going to, we talked about it before, the rumored, quote unquote, Asian Mafia Triad group. Maybe they'll start, making her relevant again. But yeah, right now, her, Asuka, that whole Damage Control group, even Io Sky, bleh.
But that's my problem, right? I feel like because they put Kairi, Asuka, and Io together, they should have stood out. But now they've really become blended in together. Does that make sense?
Yeah, no, that's exactly it. So it is what it is. Okay, Bianca Belair. She obviously had a solid amount of time. I'm looking at the stats, 47 minutes. So yeah, she was in majority of the Rumble. She was eliminated ultimately by Bayley.
Yeah. I think Bianca has settled into this role where she's not carrying the titles, but she has made herself a star.
Yeah.
And I think this is a great time for her to develop her personality, her character without the title. Remember, we always complain that she becomes boring when she becomes champion?
Correct. Well, seeing the whole like interaction she had with Jade, and it's like kind of the dream match. I think maybe that's where they're going with it, and I'm here for it. They don't even have to be heel face. It can be just like a horse match. It's like visually, it will be an amazing match.
Yeah, this is the potential to create a special attraction match for the ladies. Without the titles, which is always a good thing, right?
Are you saying that Jade Cargill is the Omas of the women's division? Is that what you're saying?
No, I did not say that, bro. Come on. And you know what? I don't have anything against Omas. I think he actually has the potential to be a pretty good giant. And I'll talk about his entrance later on. But yeah, okay, bro. Okay, let's be fair, right? Bianca is promoting a new reality TV series with Montez, right? Love and WWE or something like that.
Yes, Div Royalty just brought it up in chat. Like, who's excited for it? So she's definitely going to be like kind of sidetracked, a little bit busy. So like, she's occupied that almost like that Cody role where she's the figurehead. We talked about this before. So she's never gonna get a heel run anytime soon. Let's be real,
bro. You know what this is, right, bro? Remember
empowerment? She's
remember general manager mode in 2K?
Yeah.
Right. When you're in the middle of the general manager mode, and then suddenly Triple H will come to you and say, "Oh, one of your wrestlers on your roster has been offered a movie role. If you're away for 2 weeks, but then you will get a shit ton of money." Yeah. Like, she's fulfilling that role, bro.
Yeah, exactly. No, that's exactly it. No, she is the ultimate like role. She's kind of like the role model. They are, sort of putting her in that like almost like that John Cena-esque vibe where she's she's smiling. She's an athlete. She's a woman. She's strong. She's gonna fulfill that role.
Yeah, and shout out to her because she's also a cover girl cover star on the 2K24. That's one of the news that we also didn't mention because there's just too much news. Cody Rhodes, the cover star, Rhea, and Bianca Belair. So yes, you're right. She is gonna play that media public figure. I even saw her, I think, on the Kelly Clarkson show promoting Royal Rumble, bro.
There you go.
Yeah, so she's mainstream, right?
Yeah, in 2024, WWE is this mainstream machine where you need to have these figureheads, right? Like, The Rock was the guy for many years. Stone Cold, even though he was rough around the edges, he was that guy. Hulk Hogan was that guy. John Cena, obviously. So
I think Stone Cold has his audience. Like, he probably attract all the Texans and Southerners. and then like the rest are more cosmopolitan. I don't know what the hell I'm saying, but you know what I mean.
No, but yeah, in 2024, they fit the very mold of a athlete, of, just top guy and top gals, So anyway, there you go. Tegan Knox came out. She changed her hair color. Nobody cares.
Exactly. I didn't know who she was. The song also spoiled it for her. Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know how to make her relevant at this point. Kaden Carter, another one. We've talked about her and Katana Chance. Chelsea Green, surprisingly, with her gimmick, and she's become a comedy
growing
character.
On us,
she is.
She's growing on us, yeah.
It's interesting because like her and another one, Maxine Dupri, they've sort of now occupied that comedy character role. Like, they know that. Actually, I don't know. I can't even remember if Chelsea Green is good in the ring or not. She is, right?
She is, yeah.
So
no, but I don't you like it though? Don't you like the fact that the women's roster is so deep that they can actually have mid-carders, lower card comedy characters, upper carders, upper main eventers, that kind of thing. I think it's good to categorize the wrestlers, even though you have to put them in all these different categories. But okay, this is gonna be the fun spot. This is gonna be the serious guy or serious girl. So
Chelsea Green, Piper Niven, they're a package, and they have a cute dynamic as well. Suddenly, Piper Niven is relevant, so I love it. Yeah, fucking Dewdrop. Oh my god! Thank God they give her back the name. Oh, also another person who got back their name, by the way, Pete Dunne.
Yes. That was one of the things also we want to talk about. I'm surprised. Did Pete Dunne appear in the Rumble? He didn't, right?
No. He it was on a SmackDown.
That was a wasted opportunity to highlight him in the Rumble. But anyway, Piper Niven was great. Piper Niven actually had some interactions with Nia Jax as well.
She was eliminated by Nia Jax, by the way.
Yes. So it's great to have not just one big size girl and then everyone just fight her. They have two. So spread it out.
So it was that whole sequence, right, when Nia Jax like, wow, look at her strength, eliminates Piper Niven, eliminated a whole bunch of people. That's when you have your Jade Cargill come in to show off that strength. So Xia Li was there for some reason.
Xia Li was so wasted because she actually, remember she first debuted on SmackDown with that awesome entrance.
Yeah, she
like,
was.
Wow, this girl is gonna be a big deal.
No, I never once thought it. All I thought was cool entrance. That'll be it. And I was never impressed with her in NXT. And I've said this a million times, right? You cannot make strikes look good because, like, if your whole deal is strikes and you miss it, it's like Malachi Black with his Black Mass finisher, right? If you miss it, it looks damn bad. It looks damn bad.
I agree. But Xia Li is lost in the shuffle of all the Asian women there.
Yeah, she's like the least relevant one. Zelina Vega. So now she's appealing to the cosplay audience. She comes out with the. Can one of the gamers in chat tell me what that cosplay was? By the way, I feel like I've seen it before.
I thought I was gonna rely on you to tell me. Give me some context what she was wearing.
I didn't know, like some freaking wings. Is it some Gundam stuff or whatever?
Yeah, was it Gundam or was it Sephiroth or I don't know.
Final Fantasy. Sephiroth. I think it was some Gundam thing.
I'm just throwing shit there, bro. I have no idea, but
okay, it's a cool visual. I mean, she can go in the ring, so.
I mean, Zelina as anything but a Mortal Kombat character is a wasted opportunity because she's totally capable to be like Melina in Mortal Kombat.
Yeah, Melina, Kitana also can. Jade.
Yeah.
Bro.
I think she has cosplayed before in those characters, I think.
Yeah. She. One time she came out as Juri from Street Fighter, Valkyrie from Apex Legends. There you go. Thank you very much, Fias. I knew
Apex
we
Legends?
Can. It's a game, FPS.
Oh, okay, good. Shout out, Fias. Thanks for the context.
Okay, there you go. Zelina Vega. Maxine Dupree, we talked about. She is the much less seasoned version of Chelsea Green at this point. But in a weird way, it works for her. And they kind of allude to it as well. Like she's being trained by the Alpha Academy right now, quote unquote.
Yeah. Actually, I like something you forget, right? Is actually Maxine Dupree is really young. She's only like 26 or something.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And not everyone can be a 26-year-old Rhea Ripley. Freaking badass. I think.
Doesn't she occupy the Stacy Keibler role in a way?
Oh yeah, actually, that's a really great point, Mr. Young. Yeah.
She's sort of like kind of in the ring, but you want to see her in the ring.
Yeah, but I like that she's in a spot where she's being trained by legit athletes like Shaq Gable and Otis. So I think she's in a great spot. Let her be good and grow into that role. Nothing wrong with that.
Just going through the list, right? You realize, wow, okay, in just a short few months, Papa H has really sort of fleshed this division out a lot more than we give credit for.
And I would even say like her, how do you say her like tag team division as well. Remember you talked about how it was so one-sided, like there's nothing happening. But if you really pay close attention to Raw these days, right, you actually have a number of tag teams that's coming up. I mean, Chance and Kaden Carter, yes, they're a tag team, but it is still a tag team. It's still bodies, right? You have Chelsea Green, Piper Niven. You have the Kabuki Warriors. You have Shayna Baszler and Zoe Stark. Like it's like 5-6 teams there, So they are building up depth in that roster. So.
In Levesque, we trust. So, what you're saying is not only was Vince McMahon shitting on the women's division, shitting on the tag team division, he was also shitting on people's heads. Allegedly.
All these are alleged, please.
Alleged, that's right, allegedly. Number 19, Nia Jax. Oh boy, she's being pushed as the monster. Right? She's like the Kane, like the, every time she's in, she's a destructive force. And I can get behind that.
Yeah. Can I just say something? Like, I know we've always talked shit about her being a botch queen here and there, right? But in this recent run, since she returned, right? Don't you think that she has actually improved a lot in the ring? Or botching much less? I don't know. I can't tell.
She has. There have been a few like oh, that was a bit close. Moments that I think a lot of people, because of her reputation, are nitpicking and pointing out. You know what I mean?
And also like the fact that during promos, people like Becky Lynch did call her out, like saying that you always hurt women. All that. Yeah. I think they are acknowledging that she is an issue, and I think she is being called to her face that she is an issue, and I think she is making actual strides to improve herself. So
Yeah.
I can't hate someone for trying to improve, right?
No, that's true. They're sort of leaning into the whole thing a lot. This is like that. WWE is very smart right now, where they will lean into what the internet is talking about, but they won't lean so heavily in a way that people don't understand, like the filthy casuals don't understand. Which is, we keep talking about like AEW is super guilty of doing that, right? Like talking about stuff that's so sideways that nobody in the mainstream knows what the hell they're talking about. Only the diehard internet fans know.
Yeah, I agree, and I think that's the secret sauce, right? Like, I know you want to be cool and like this is indie. If you know, but you are just going to limit your audience. And we've had these conversations multiple times, right?
Yeah.
And a running joke in WWE is only a running joke because they have given some context to it on their television, right?
They bring it to life.
So
they
great.
highlight it. Yeah, they understand that they are going for people who have never watched the product before. And this is the thing I've learned from entertainment and from the radio business as well. You know, every time you switch on the microphone, it's an opportunity to get a new audience. This is an entertainment sort of like a piece of advice. Like every time you switch, you cannot always assume that people know what the hell you were talking about just now. You know, you have to set up the stage, and that's what WWE is so good at doing right now.
Is this a reminder, Mr. Young, that, you know, Kick to the Gut is an opportunity to go beyond just talking about wrestling? Is that a reminder to ourselves?
Absolutely.
To be more mainstream?
Yes, be more mainstream. But unfortunately, there's so much juicy stuff, including, whatever came out of Vince McMahon's butt to talk about.
Our salvation, right, Mr. Young, you know, in the 7 years of doing this podcast, right, and we are going to our 7th season now, is the hope that wrestling will become mainstream. And so the only way... Like, our podcast doesn't even need to strive to be mainstream because it becomes mainstream because wrestling is mainstream. You know what I mean?
We are on the cusp. 2025 will be our year, bro.
One more. Just tahan one more season.
Yeah, Netflix, let's go. Okay, a lot is right.
Oh, speaking of which, right?
Netflix deal, yeah.
Speaking of which, I need to casually remind Mr. Fias Grinder. I understand that you are our Patreon right now, a Patreon member, but you are on the free tier, Mr. Fias. So you are missing out on all the perks that I'm going to announce at the end of this episode. So please consider, my brother, to go up the sponsorship tier and join the rest of your fans there, the rest of the listeners on our byline right there. Yeah.
All right.
Quick
We're
reminder.
doing that, huh? Okay.
Yeah, we are doing that, yes. Calling out people.
All right.
We are calling out people.
Wow.
I love you, Fias. Shout out to you.
Let's talk about Shotzi. She was kind of one of those who were there, you know, she's just always there. But now that she's grown out her hair, I actually like the look. I thought she really stood out.
Yeah, I think Shotzi has always been a cool, like, Spitfire kind of vibe. I think I've noticed her since when she was the host for Halloween Havoc or something on NXT.
Yeah.
But someone on this Discord said something damn funny when we were watching it live, right, on the Discord, saying that I think she should just stick to paranormal investigating with Scarlett.
As opposed to wrestling. No.
But she's a great host for that paranormal investigation series that they did in WWE.
Maybe she should be a talk show host. You know, the women should have a talk show, right? We have the KO show. We have like so many different quote-unquote talk shows. She could be one. All right, let's move on. Becky Lynch. There you go. Do you think Becky Lynch had a moment?
Okay, I like where Becky is settling into in her current iteration. Like, she is one of the top women in her roster, but she's not the main one, right? She reminds me of what or not?
What?
Stone Cold in 2002. Do you remember that?
Yeah, I do. Yeah, that makes sense.
Like Stone Cold was still a star, everyone still loves him, but he was like wrestling Scott Hall on the mid-card.
Yeah. No, but that's the cycle of wrestling, right? You need to start pushing the newer stars. And so she's sort of like been established already. At any time, if you need her to go up to the main event, she can. So yeah, she's into that role right now. And, you know, it'll be interesting to see where she lands at WrestleMania. Obviously, the road to WrestleMania coming up. Let's move on then. Alba Fyre. Oh my God. When she came out, I was like, it's another one. Now, whose music is this? Like, who is this? Yeah. And then she comes out with Isla Dawn, right? I
do like their look though. They do stand out. I'm not saying that they don't.
Look, hey, what's her face? Valhalla stands out, but do you really care about Valhalla?
Yeah, but the point is like they kind of need to do more lah. They can't just rely on a cool look or like
Okay,
even the
hang on.
music needs to stand out. It doesn't stand out.
Their whole deal is they got witchcraft or some dark magic
Yes.
or some shit. Like,
Yes.
how does that work in 2024? You trying to run a Papa Shango-esque thing? Because, you know, at some point, it just becomes hokey, right? Like, oh, look. Like, I feel like the same applies for Valhalla. She's a Viking. She wears antlers to the ring. But how does that, like, you know, like, so she's just cosplaying lah. So they are just cosplaying lah. Like, how does it...
So the difference between professional fighting and WWE is that there is an opportunity to lean into the absurd and go over the top, right?
Yeah.
And it, let's be fair, like, you know, a couple of like hot chicks doing witchcraft can be a thing, right? But I'm not saying it's a bad thing, you know. You've seen movies like that, right?
Yeah.
But
how do their characters lean into what they do? Right now, they are witches, they do dark magic, but they still wrestle and still lose. You know what I mean? So
exactly. Yeah. They need to be portrayed like if you can portray Alexa Bliss, small sized woman, to be like this over the top scary character, people will all are afraid of her. They can do that for this Ayla, Dawn, or Elba Fire as well, right?
Yeah. So I'm thinking like if I were to book them, I'd be like just have them play mind games. Like, oh, you know, let's not go into the freaking. Do you remember Papa Shango and Ultimate Warrior bleeding?
Ultimate Warrior, yeah.
Black goo.
Vomiting the black goo.
Yeah, maybe not that way, but you know what I mean? Like, sort of like have them play mind games. Like, oh, am I really cursed? Blah, 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 that kind of thing, right? Like, you know, there's something to be said about it does lean into the absurd a little bit, but not too much. In 2024, you can't lean too much into the absurd because it will just come off as hokey.
Yeah. Just have it as an aura. Like, you know, they talk about Khabib becoming this badass who can wrestle bears, right? Like, it adds to the aura and mystique of them. Not they filmed him wrestling a bear for promo.
Exactly, that's exactly it. Let's talk about Shayna Baszler, who's really fallen hard. Like she's just in the tag team with Zoe Stark. She's actually the sort of like the lamer one, the submission magician. It just doesn't work anymore. She needs a refresh.
Shayna should have benefited from that Ronda Rousey rub, but the problem is Ronda Rousey's stock fell so hard that when she did put over Shayna, it was like, okay.
Hey, I just randomly saw some headline where apparently Ronda fell hard, quite jalat, at an indie show. I don't know if she's injured. Does anybody? She's alive, yes. But I don't know if she's injured.
I thought you said she fell hard. I thought she fell from some height that held in the cell or something.
No lah. As in like she fell wrong lah. Basket, no.
Okay. Wait, she was wrestling this weekend at an indie show?
At some point, I don't know lah. Hey, I guess I'll search this out.
Yeah, no problem. Let me go look at the chat and answer some of your comments. Oh yeah, so it was Fias that mentioned it about what did he say? Oh yeah, about the paranormal investigator, the short C one. Okay.
I can't find it right now. Anyway, let's move on. Wonder Boys, good to see you. Welcome to the chat. So, Valhalla, we talked about earlier already. Michin, another one. See. I'm looking at the list. The people I just mentioned all eliminated by Nia Jax. They were just bodies to be eliminated. I'm just looking at it right now. Look at who Nia Jax eliminated. Ivy Nile, Katana Chance, Piper Niven, Xia Li, Shotzi, Shayna Baszler, Valhalla, Michin. Literally all the sort of like sort of characters right now were eliminated by Nia Jax.
So did she just eliminate like 1/3 of the roster or something? That's pretty a lot. Yeah.
I mean,
well, they are building up strong, I guess.
Maybe we'll see Nia Jax versus Becky Lynch at WrestleMania. Michin, another one just needs a repackaging. Zoe Stark, they're kind of like I feel like they did try to highlight Zoe Stark a bit. She got a bit more of a highlight than but ultimately, she was eliminated. Okay, this one I thought was a waste, and I don't know what it says about her in this sort of landscape of big, strong women. But Roxanne Perez was in the Rumble, and I thought that she didn't stand out at all.
Yeah, I thought they should have highlighted her better. But
then again, how can you highlight somebody when you're in the ring with Jade Cargill, Tiffany Stratton, Nia Jax? You know what I mean? It's hard to stand out like that.
So this is the only wasted opportunity. Imagine Roxanne came in, cleared the ring, cleared house, and then like everyone was like cheering her on. And then the next entrant, AJ Lee. Like,
Oh yeah.
you know what I mean? Like they
Oh.
will be like the mirror images of each other looking at each other. Like these
Mm.
are the kind of moments in a rumble that would have popped and become a viral moment. But
I
yeah,
almost
that's
wish
true.
Roxanne Perez didn't show up at this Rumble. You know what I mean?
Save her for another time or something like
Yeah,
that.
or introduce her in a different way. I feel like she was just there and then she was gone.
Yeah. That shows me something. I don't think she's ready for the main roster. Even though
Nope.
people are pushing her to be the main roster, I don't think she's ready yet.
True. I agree with you on that. And then, of
Yeah.
course, number 28, Jade Cargill. Huge pop. The second people saw her come out, like, she's like, whoa, right? She's impressive. Same.
Yeah. Speaking of a star, she
Yeah,
is a star.
she is a star, 100%. And we talked about how she was essentially like, she just quote unquote was protected lah. You know, we know that she's still a little bit green, right? She's just in there doing power moves to people. After that, you hide her for a bit, and it was a great way to introduce Jade Cargill. I think you see, they introduced her the right way. She came in and she eliminated Nia Jax. You immediately have a great first impression of Jade Cargill. The exact opposite of Roxanne Perez. No impression whatsoever, even though this was her debut.
Again, the thing about Jade, I believe, is she needs to be given the Batista treatment. What I mean by that is like Batista came in, had the body and all that, but then
Wait,
she
hold
was
on.
under the tutelage.
You mean lasers?
That was later on, I guess, in his career. But what I meant is like
That was a Santino Marella reference, by the way.
Yes, I did. I remember that. He did came in with a great physique and a body, but I think he came under the tutelage of Triple H. They put him in a faction, highlight or covered up his flaws, highlighted his strengths. The problem with women's division is that there are no big veterans that you can kind of hide behind for a while.
There's Natalia, and that's about it.
No, bro, but if she hides behind Natalia as a bodyguard, it's a downgrade for her at this point. Like, she's a star.
No,
she needs to be right. I would say put her as an attraction. Like, give her the Roman Reigns schedule.
Bro, no. I said it. I am sticking to it. Make her the Omas. Have her show up once in a while only.
Yeah, make her the Omas. Give her someone that can do her bidding for her, right? Or like she can be the muscle for like a big star name as well. I do not know.
But that would.
But the problem is Bianca Belair versus Jade Cargill has already been spoiled for us or teased for us, so you gotta see that match, right?
Yeah. Tiffany Stratton, I think this was a great debut for her. I think a lot of the crowd knew who she was and were cheering for her, in fact.
Yeah. Tiffany again got the size, she got the look. She did she do her moonsault in this match? I can't remember.
She did a swan. I remember her doing a swanton.
Yeah. Again, bro, they are building all these stars from NXT and they are rolling off like a factory, producing all these big potential stars. So the future generation, for the next generation of women, is actually looking pretty good. I gotta say that for WWE.
They look like athletes, which is the very end. We'll get to a point I want to make a little bit later on, but they all look like legit athletes, which is great, right?
Yeah.
Liv Morgan was the final entry. I know, some of you love Liv Morgan. I'm still not convinced with Liv Morgan. I really am not. Like, I still...
Do you feel like it was a bit of a letdown? She came in at number 30. Were you expecting someone better? Or someone,
I was expecting AJ Lee, but the thing is, I got the damn Rumble spoiled. So I already knew kind of who was going to win, who was not going to show up, and there was no buzz on the AJ Lee. So I'm like, oh, okay, I guess she didn't show up. Yeah, there was a bit of that, but that's on me. It's nobody else's fault, right? You can't expect something to happen like that.
Liv is interesting because I feel like at various points in her career, she was hot.
Yeah.
And the last time she was in the ring, she was actually having a very good upward trajectory because she did.
Yep.
She was the final two last year in the Rumble, and she did have a lot of fans.
Yeah.
But I think they need to rebuild her again. Like some people disappear for a while, right? When they come back, everyone loved to seeing her. Yeah. But with Liv, the reaction was very funny. When she came back, everyone was like, she was gone. Oh,
it's
okay.
like like Kairi Sane.
Yeah. Like, so like people didn't miss them enough.
Okay. What is Liv's character other than, remember they tried to make her hardcore at one point?
Oh, yeah, the hardcore girl.
Like, It does. I think that is the main problem. Like, she's young and cute, and but that's about it, right? She doesn't have that next level of character development, which I think hopefully under the tutelage of Papa H she can develop in the next couple of months. But yeah, like it just feels.
Vince McMahon tried to make her a lesbian. That was a gimmick, remember?
Oh god,
with Lana.
Yeah. Okay, well, never mind that. So let's actually give her a character, some motivation and whatnot, right? So there you go. There's the women's rumble. Let's move on because holy crap.
Yeah, okay. I mean, Bailey is the right decision as the winner. Let's just agree on that. Yeah, and it was overall a good rumble match for women.
I just like the way that they booked it. And I feel like if she came out at like number 28 and won it, she wouldn't have gotten the reaction that she did. It's like she earned it. She really earned it from number one, and then she was the Iron Woman.
Yeah. And I think well-deserved Iron Woman, because I feel like Bailey has been the unsung hero of the women's division for a long time.
Now, it'll be interesting to see how her character changes, because she's still playing up the obnoxious heel Bailey. She's like picking on Michael Cole, and then on Raw, I saw clips of Raw. She was like, swanning Rhea Ripley. She's still acting a heel. So I wonder how they will switch it,
Very funnily, I watched Raw the entire morning actually. Finally, I could actually watched it. So there was segment was Bailey came out to the ring with the rest of Damage Control. No hint of dissension yet. Talking about how she's the Iron Woman, and she's ready to challenge the star. And then next thing you know, Rhea came out. Rhea said, "You better not choose me. If you choose me, you're gonna regret it." Blah blah blah. And then all of a sudden, Nia Jax came and disrupted the whole thing and beat up Rhea Ripley. And then Nia Jax went up to Bailey at the corner and like, "You better not choose Rhea because Rhea is not gonna make it to WrestleMania."
Okay.
And then Bailey was like a coward. She was like, I haven't finished what I said. I'm gonna make my announcement on SmackDown. So don't worry.
Yeah. So you see, that's the whole thing, right? Like, how are you gonna make her into a babyface? Because you have to turn her. Unless you are trying to make Io the babyface, that doesn't make sense. But see, this is very interesting. It's like, okay, right now, from what you just said there's your main event. I mean, not main event. There's one of your matches for Perth, Nia Jax versus Rhea Ripley. You get to see that?
Yeah, that would be amazing. Oh yeah, by the way, I think I should announce to everyone, your boy Foreign is gonna be at Elimination Chamber, guys.
Yeah, let's go! Oh my god, live reporter on the scene.
Yeah, so I hope to record some content there. I might live stream. I don't know. I might take some videos, put it on Instagram. We'll plan it out, Mr. Young, and I'll be back. I'll just be there for the weekend, so I'll be back and tell you guys about my experience. So watch out for the episode, guys.
I can't wait, bro. I can't wait.
And one more thing I forgot to tell you is I'm not just signing up to watch the Elimination Chamber itself.
Yeah.
The day before, I bought tickets to see Undertaker's One Dead Man show as well.
Bro, let's go.
Bro, I hope to get a snap with the Dead Man himself. We shall see how it goes. That's gonna be fun. So yeah, can't wait to give you guys my vlog.
Do you think you can psycho him into giving a kick to the gut, a shout out?
I will have my
in peace.
I will have my my wireless mic in hand. I see whether got a TikTok video ready.
Okay, so there you go. There's the women's rumble. I like where this will lead us. I just hope that. See, this is my dilemma, right? Like, obviously, they want to give Bailey her moment at WrestleMania, but that will come at the expense of Io. And Io, if anything, needs the rub badly.
Yep.
She is so cold right now.
I think there will be a heel and heel dynamic at the beginning. Like, Bailey will be like, you know what, I'll challenge you, but it's gonna be fun, blah blah blah. And then eventually we'll see that ousting of the Damage Control leadership away from Bailey. They're gonna beat her up, and I think she will have that redemption at WrestleMania.
Sure. Makes
sense. That's the plan.
Okay, let's move on to the next match. I was surprised this was number 2, but okay, it kind of makes sense. Roman Reigns, AJ Styles, LA Knight, Randy Orton. Okay, I want to go back to the point of everyone looking like an athlete. When I visually, when you see these 4 men in the ring, I'm like, oh my god, this is like, look at them. Look at all 4 of them. I did it. Yes. I don't know if the visual stood out to you, but I was like, oh wow, like this is a main event. This is for the big champion. They all look like top tier athletes.
this is the first time I was reminded of an Attitude Era main event scene, right? Because like last time when you was watching Attitude Era, you saw Triple H with his body, you saw Kurt Angle looking all jacked, and you see
The
big size
Rock.
guy like Undertaker, Kane, The Rock.
Yeah.
Like you knew it was the main event, right?
Yeah.
And somewhere along the lines, maybe they didn't highlight stars like that much. I do not know, but the recent return where everyone just got super jacked for no reason, Randy Orton, AJ Styles.
Dude, I swear, like AJ Styles' arms look ridiculous. Man. I was like, holy shit, how is he keeping it up?
Yeah, how the fuck did he do that? Like, what did he do at home? Can you share his workout routine? And then like, LA Knight has always been a body guy. He's always looked great in shape. And what I like about this Fatal 4-Way was everybody came in with motivation, a reason to why they hate Roman Reigns and want to take the title off of it.
Was it weird that Roman was the least bodied guy there? Even though Roman is Roman, like everyone else looked better than him, cut-wise.
No, that's so interesting, right? Roman has always been a big guy, look in shape and all that, but his physique it's not like defined as the rest of those guys.
I was like, oh my, like I couldn't get for whatever reason, like I couldn't get over it, which I guess might have been a good thing, right? In that, you told this story. Here's the other thing: it's always tough to do a Fatal 4-Way because you got 4 people, you're trying to tell 4 stories at once. I think they did what they could with it. Roman Reigns sort of winning clean-ish. I mean, Solo did show up, but he wasn't super it wasn't like a class, like one of those like super F finishes where like everybody in the bloodline come out, right? So in a way, it had to be this way. Like Roman needed a bit of his shine back to remind people
if you listen to the crowd, right? Do you realize the crowd groaned when Solo came out? Because they're like, they've seen this so many times.
Yeah, they're tired of it already. So I think it's a good call that ultimately he kind of won clean. Like, okay, I have my guys, but I'm still a badass. I still can pull this off. Yeah,
as clean as can be. And I also feel that Roman is on his last legs. And I think the Bloodline storyline is on his last legs. They need to end it in WrestleMania. They do not want to risk Roman being booed, not because he's a great heel, but being booed because they're sick of him.
Yeah,
they do not want to see that.
There's that very juicy Hulk Hogan record that is still standing. That if Roman takes it, nobody else can touch it though. At this point, who else is going to touch? Don't talk about the Bruno record. That one was from an era where he wrestled literally like once in a while. But it's you need somebody of this era to take that record, right?
Yeah, but again, like nothing wrong with falling short and letting Hulk Hogan still beat that record. Like you're talking about the modern era right now. Like that record stood in 1980, right before the WrestleMania boom. Like there was a different time. And
sure.
And okay, I know Hulk Hogan might have ruined his legacy here and there with his like racism and all that shit, but I wouldn't mind having Hogan still being one of those top guys because at the end of the day, what it is, it's just a record, and his legacy shouldn't be defined. I mean, he's already over 1,000 days. I think that is a great record to hang your head by.
He's number 3 right now, or is it number 4? And there's still like 1 or 2 people he needs to surpass.
He's number 4, I believe, because there's Hogan. I think there's Bob Backlund or something like that.
Oh yeah. I'm not sure. The Bob Backlund one, I think he can eclipse easily.
Yeah. But again, WrestleMania, I think everyone knows, usually the decade WrestleManias, like WrestleMania 10, WrestleMania 20, WrestleMania 30, WrestleMania 40, they always want to have like a feel-good storyline. I don't think they're going to risk putting Roman over one more time, bro. Come on.
Wow, can you imagine Cody loses to Roman again? But there was, we'll get to it in just a little while because there is a bit of a wrinkle there. So, I enjoyed the match, but I think we were a bit tired from the Rumble, so it was a bit of a letdown. That's why I thought it was a funny spot for this match, because I thought Logan Paul, Kevin Owens should have been in this match spot. But that's the problem when you have a 1 hour Royal Rumble.
I think, right, they wanted to segment the hours to have like a main event in each hour, my opinion. So like, for example, first hour was the Rumble match, second hour was this WWE Championship match. Yeah. And then they also needed Roman to go back, shower, look good, so that he can go back to the box, like like the VIP box.
How long do you think it takes to shower, bro? Come on, it takes him 15 minutes lah at max.
Come on, but I mean, I'm just assuming, right?
Sure.
It's an interesting booking decision, I'm saying.
Very quickly, let's talk Logan Paul, Kevin Owens. Did this make sense? I think it made sense. Yeah. Logan Paul definitely needs to figure into WrestleMania, so you have to have a way for him to hold on to the US title lah.
Yeah, I'm actually fine with the finish. I thought it was a creative finish because people always complain about him using the brass knucks.
Yeah.
But this point, it was Kevin Owens using the brass knucks on Logan Paul, but he got caught for it. I thought that was a smart way out, in my opinion.
Yeah.
And keeps Owens strong, right?
Yeah. Like I was saying in my predictions video, like there had to be a way where we would go into WrestleMania with Logan Paul as the champion, and this is where Kevin Owens will dethrone him. Mm-hmm. Is Kevin Owens the guy to win the US title at WrestleMania? And do something separate from Sami Zayn?
I don't know, man. I don't know, because I felt that they got to do something with LA Knight, AJ Styles, Randy Orton as well.
Right.
So, I always thought that maybe LA Knight was going to be the guy to at least win a mid-card title.
Yeah.
And remember, they teased LA Knight and Logan Paul a bit last year, but they never really pulled the trigger on that rivalry. I think if WWE was smart, they will use Logan Paul's mainstream stardom and appeal to put over or introduce LA Knight to the mainstream.
Yeah, as opposed to Kevin Owens, right?
Yeah, because I don't think Kevin Owens is the kind of guy that WWE will push to the mainstream. He will be more of a wrestling fan.
Which is... okay, can we settle this at Elimination Chamber then? And then Logan Paul moves on to WrestleMania to face off. So we always assume, right, that WrestleMania is the end of feuds. But let's not forget, you have to start some feuds right before WrestleMania as well and carry on. So it could be a thing where Logan Paul, like you said, goes up against LA Knight, Randy Orton, whatever, as a sort of a just started feud.
Yeah, I agree. And hey, if I get to see Logan Paul at Perth, Australia, even better, right? More matches for me to watch. So yeah, have that rematch. Have Kevin Owens and Logan Paul one more time at Elimination Chamber. And then, let him get beaten clean. I don't know what that will mean for Kevin Owens though, but we know we want to see Logan Paul at WrestleMania with the title.
True. So we forgot what about Damian Priest? The dude still has his briefcase. When the hell is the expiration date of that briefcase? The poor guy. Okay, we'll get to that in just a bit, I guess.
Well, yeah, let's talk about it later. But I foresee a world title in him, but just not during the WrestleMania season. I mean, that's my early prediction.
So like what, after WrestleMania? Like the Raw after WrestleMania? You never know. Okay.
Yeah, you never know. Yeah.
Let's talk about the men's Royal Rumble, and we start off with Jey Uso and number 2.
Great decision. Jimmy Uso.
How beautiful was that? Also, you notice there wasn't really in both Rumbles a moment where the ring was cleared and there were 2 people left. Like I feel like they've been doing this less.
Yeah, which is such a shame, right? Like, I remember that was actually one of the fun things about WWE last time. They always had a guy that wipes the place clean, and then they wait for the next batch, and then you'll be like, wow, one-on-one thing.
Maybe it was done too often. They're like, okay, let's try something a bit different. So, I mean, give kudos to them for that, right? You can't have it like that every single year, you know? Like the Brock Lesnar in the middle of the ring, he just chucks everybody out, and then it will take somebody special to get rid of him, right? So, especially in the Women's Rumble, I realized it was very packed all the time, and maybe it was done on purpose to cover up some of the greenness, right? Yeah, until Nia Jax had her moment where she just cleared the house lah. But if you're not gonna have moments like that, then this was the perfect moment to have the Usos like 1 and 2. Like literally, they started off one yeet, one no yeet. It was great.
I think they're gonna have that blow off brother versus brother
of course.
match. 20 years after Owen Hart versus Bret Hart,
you're
gonna have Uso versus Uso at WrestleMania. You gotta have that match, right?
It has to be, right? Yeah, no, absolutely, it has to be. Grayson Waller, did you think that he made an impact?
I mean, I like Grayson Waller now, especially ever since I saw the interview where he fucked the guy up.
Oh,
where he scolded the guy.
Yeah.
So I got a soft spot for him now, and I mean, he's an Australian guy, so I think he's gonna have a big presence at Elimination Chamber.
For sure.
That being said, I mean, he's just a lackey in this match, so it was what it was.
Andrade, El Idolo. Well, no more El Idolo, just Andrade. He's back.
He changed his Instagram handle to Andrade Almas.
Oh, is
But
it?
yeah. But again, Andrade, another star in WWE, went to AEW, thought he could create his own path in AEW. They did absolutely nothing with him in AEW except for, you know what's my favorite moment of Andrade in AEW?
What's that?
That one AEW Collision, the first ever show from Collision where he had that awesome banger with Buddy Matthews, I believe.
Yes.
Yeah, that was like literally the only time they showcased him damn well. After that, like, what did he do before and after? You know what I mean?
Nothing, yeah.
Poor guy.
I'm glad that he's back. Obviously, Charlotte maybe had something to do with it. Did you see the clip where she's like sort of preparing him to go out? So sweet,
oiling him up.
Oiling her, like,
Oiling
so
sweet.
yeah. I think he had quite a few moments and glad to see him back. He got more jacked also. He got wider.
If you watch Raw,
Yeah.
he had a backstage segment with Adam Pearce, and he is officially signed with Raw. It was a very cool segment. So he was backstage, he was just shaking hand like, thanks, great doing deal with you. And then like he was holding the Raw folder. And then Nick Aldis came in, and Nick Aldis was like, very interesting. You actually SmackDown had a deal prepared, a very hefty deal prepared for you.
Yeah.
And then Adam Pearce was like, well, I guess you should have been faster. I mean, I'm loving all these GM interactions, bro.
Nice.
And then after he said that, Aldis was like, yeah, I guess I should have been faster. And then like, then suddenly the phone rings, and he was like, well, I gotta take this call. And then he walked away. Yes, Braun Breaker. And then he walked away, bro. And then the crowd, whoa.
You love it. Wow. Thanks for spoiling Raw for me, by the way. But I'm kidding.
I don't think you'll be watching Raw in full, but this is something you might have missed if you didn't watch Raw. So I'm gonna tell you that. That's what happened.
There you go. Andrade on Raw. That's an interesting setup. We'll have to wait and see. In Elgato del Fantasma over on SmackDown.
Which reminds me, bro, one other thing he said to Nick Aldis before he left. And then he said, hey, can you also send my regards to Zelina Vega? Then he smiled and he walked away.
Oh! Because she used to be his
they
valet,
are calling
right?
back. Yeah, they're doing all the callbacks, bro. So
Nice. So when is Malachi Black coming back home? Aleister Black?
There are reports that they're going to bring back both Malachi and Buddy Matthews, bro.
Well, hey, those are Triple H guys, so I can't wait to see that happen. Let's talk about NXT's Carmelo Hayes.
Yeah, man. I mean, Carmelo is great, but to be really honest, I've always loved him.
Yeah.
But I don't think he's going to be the guy on the main roster. Like, I think NXT highlights him better, because if he's going on the main roster, I think he'll just be one of the smaller guys.
He'll be drowned by the big guys, right?
Yeah.
The land of the giants, as it were. So yeah,
give him a longer run with the NXT title, in my opinion.
I thought he was all right, but to your point, I don't think he really stood out, in this one.
Okay, my problem with him, right, is that him and Trick Williams will have the JTG and Shaq Gaspard problem.
Okay.
When it was JTG and Shaq Gaspard Crime Time, everyone thought that Shaq Gaspard was going to be the star, the breakout star.
Yeah.
Even at the same time, at the same team. Carmelo Hayes and Trick Williams, as great as Carmelo is, right, I think everyone's starting to see that Trick will be actually the biggest star.
Yes. Agreed.
Yeah.
So, there you go.
It is what it is.
Shinsuke Nakamura.
Come on, don't hate on Shinsuke. He's good. He's great.
Sure. But
he has his song back again.
Yeah, wow. Yeah. People are still singing the song. It was damn funny though. What's his face? Because the last time we forgot to mention that Pat McAfee was on commentary, thank goodness. And he's back. Yeah. Apparently he's signed with Raw, so he's gonna commentate on Raw with is it Michael Cole? Yeah. There you go.
Yeah,
great.
So Michael Cole on Raw, and I think the rumor is Corey Graves is gonna be the main guy on SmackDown, and the one supporting him, the play-by-play, the color will be Wade Barrett.
Oh well, I mean, yeah, that's a pretty cool combination. So there you go. Yeah. Santos Escobar. Yeah, he had his moments, but he was there to just kind of further his feud with Carlito a little bit.
Yeah, Santos had that very interesting face-off with Andrade as well. Almost like the former Mexican star facing the current Mexican star. Yeah, that was cool.
Karrion Kross. They're starting to build something with the Final Testament.
Yes, correct. I'm actually finding Karrion Kross interesting.
Really?
Thanks to this lah. Yeah. As in his feud with Bobby Lashley and this Final Testament thing is like gang warfare, which I always enjoy. So
I don't know what it
interesting.
is. Maybe you can shed some light. Maybe you can figure this out. But every time I see him in the ring, it's like the Usos, it's like LA Knight. When they are in the ring, I get bored. But they are more character driven as opposed to people you get excited watching the match. You know?
Some people are better as a outside of the ring presence or their promos than their actual matches, right?
Yeah. That's interesting. Dirty Dominic Mysterio, who was...
this is one guy that has no problem being a despicable heel and interesting in the ring and outside the ring.
Yeah, the dude is like, I can't wait for the next 10 years to see, where he goes, right? You just remember when he first debuted and he was like the boy with Ray and he was just a really nice babyface. And now where he is, well done. Whatever they've done with him, whoever's figured out his trajectory, well done.
He is definitely has come out of Rey Mysterio's shadow. He's definitely, no one's associating him with just Rey anymore. He's his own guy.
Yeah.
And I think he's got a bit of that Eddie Guerrero swagger. Do you think so? The way he sashays around the ring?
Yeah. He probably, it's Tom and Nick Mysterio. Yeah, he definitely does. Funnily enough, Carlito, he's all back and everything, but he's just kind of there, right?
Yeah. They kind of settled him with this whole LWO feud, and they kind of make him a bit not that interesting. I do not know why.
He's like, okay, Ray is gone, injured, right? So you are now the de facto LWO leader.
Yeah. He should be a bigger deal. That's a problem. Actually, it's not as if he can't get cut promos or what. He's great with the promos. And all that. But
maybe it's too much stuff happening. Save him for next year. Bobby Lashley. There's I thought Bobby Lashley's appearance was very underwhelming. He was eliminated by Karrion Kross, and it was pretty quick too, right?
Yeah.
And then they had this whole thing on the outside where the Final Testament, because Akam and Reza came out as well. I don't know, man.
1 or 2 years ago, Bobby was a world champion. He had a hurt business. He was a big star. I think, again, this is a good problem to have. They have too many stars and they just choose to highlight other people. And maybe it's not Bobby Lashley's time anymore right now.
No, he needs MVP back. Honestly,
They did bring Street Profits to kind of level out the playing field. So I think they're going to have this gang warfare the next couple of months. I don't know. It might lead into a WrestleMania 6-man ladder match. Who knows?
What? You're talking about the Bobby Lashley and Street Profits versus the Final Testament? You throw in the Latin group also. I'm throwing LWO, so you have the true gang warfare again.
Yeah, that was
last time. God! Do you remember Los Baricuas versus the Disciples of Apocalypse versus the Nation of Domination? This is what? Bro. This is the 2024 version, bro!
It is lah. This is early Attitude Era where every faction is based on their race.
Yeah. So now we have this again in 2024. Bro, oh no.
Hilarious. Okay.
Oh no.
Let's go.
Ludwig Kaiser. He's really blossomed in this Imperium. I feel bad about Vinci. Vinci is is really sort of the third man, odd man out. Now he's sort of this, I don't know, everything is excellence, perfection. And the way he just pulls it off, this disgusted look on his face. I love it.
Yeah, they call him the complete gentleman. He has the gimmick down pat.
Yeah.
And that guy is scoring because I think he's together with Tiffany Stratton, right?
Oh, hey, there you go. Winning.
There you go. I mean, what a couple, man. So he looks good. But he didn't perform that well in the Rumble. He got eliminated very fast.
Yeah. By Kofi Kingston because he's having a feud with the New Day.
Yes. So it makes sense storyline wise. So
Here's another guy who's literally I don't know what happened to him. He was the future. He was a prodigy, and then all of a sudden he's jobbing kind of Austin Theory. When I heard A-Town Down, I was like, oh shit, I haven't seen this guy in a while.
Yeah. I don't hate his position in the WWE right now because I feel he was getting the Randy Orton treatment and I don't think he was ready for it. I think John Cena exposed him in a way.
Bro, do you realize he's had a lot of stop-starts? Remember the pandemic era where they hot-shot him straight into the main event?
With Seth Rollins.
With Seth Rollins, yeah. So then, after that, he got pushed straight back down to NXT in The Way together with Johnny Gargano and group.
Yeah.
And then then he came back up to become Vince McMahon's guy. Remember those skits? And then now he's back down. Like, what the heck, man? Poor guy.
Yeah, but I feel like, again, don't push it too early, right? If he's 24, 25, he can have 6 years in the mid-card like freaking Cody Rhodes and maybe achieve his potential later on. And by that time, at least he's ready, right?
Right. I mean, you brought it up before. It's kind of like that whole Edge and Randy Orton. Like, you know that they are going to be stars of the future. Let them simmer a little bit longer.
Are you saying Grayson Waller and Austin Theory is the rated RKO of this generation?
Yes, I am, bro. You can quote me on that.
Oh, wow. Okay. I mean, that's a hot take right there. Yeah.
Let's go. Okay, then we got, let's see, Finn Balor. Finn Balor also felt like an afterthought here.
Yeah. Finn Balor, I think there's rumors that he actually might leave on his contract expiring. His contract is expiring right after WrestleMania.
Oh, God.
So maybe he's on his way. I mean, okay, actually, honestly, Finn Balor is a non-factor at this point. Like, Priest is the main guy star. So I love Finn Balor. We all love him. But maybe his time in WWE is just this. This is going to be... In a very weird way. Like, literally everybody in the Judgment Day has more character, more purpose than Finn. If you think about it, even JD McDonough, he's sort of like the irritated guy who tried so hard to get into the group. Finally, he's in the group, and then this idiot R-Truth is trying to, get him out, and Chocho disturb him. So even JD Funko has more of a shine now for some weird reason. Yeah, very interesting. Well, we shall see what's the plan for Finn Balor. But I think Finn Balor has gone back to that. I'm going to be sitting in the background. Let the other members of Judgment Day shine.
Which I think
that's his role.
I think it bugs us because we've seen what he can do.
For sure.
Maybe he's fine with it. So maybe it's just an us thing. All right, Cody Rhodes comes in at number 15. At least he didn't have to like run the full gamut or anything like that.
Yeah, did we miss out on somebody? Gunther is not in yet, right?
No, not yet. Gunther is 18.
Okay, because I feel like there was this interaction with Kaiser when he got eliminated, and then Gunther looked at him like
disappointed.
Despicable.
Yeah. So okay.
Yeah.
So Bronson Reed showed up.
Right after that,
what? I mean, he's another guy, right? He's a horse. He's a big. It's like sort of like the Piper Niven, Nia Jax vibe in the Rumble, where this is where he's going to shine, but ultimately he will get thrown out by somebody else bigger.
Yeah. I feel we are kind of skiving over Cody Rhodes too fast. Like, I mean, Cody Rhodes at number 15. Do you like his position in the Rumble? Do you think it was enough time for him to showcase his Iron Man capabilities?
Yes. No, because if you made him come in at number 1 and then have him last all the way, I think it's a bit much already. Not only, like, what I mean? It's like, okay, giving him too much already. The fact that he is a back-to-back, I mean, it's a spoiler, but we all know the results by now. The fact that he won back-to-back is already a big deal. That is
the accolade.
Yeah, you cannot give him like freaking John Cena treatment. He come in at number 2 and then goes all the way. He's a back-to-back winner plus he's Iron Man. Cannot. That is a bit too much already.
Okay. So give him a middle of the card, middle of the run.
Yeah. So not too early. Yeah. Literally smack in the middle. Not too early, not too late.
Yes, correct. So Bronson Reed, I think again still mid card, still building up himself. I think he might he did have a match with Uso in Raw, so that's where he is right now.
Big Bronson. Do you like his nickname? Big. The most unimaginative nickname.
Okay, we can't complain because over in AEW there's Big Bill, right?
Yeah, sure. But it's still bad with the Big Bronson Reed. Okay.
But interestingly, when I was watching Raw and like paying attention to the graphics, right? Before every star or every wrestler comes out to the ring, they will have like a very quick like 30-second package showcasing the character. So like for Bronson Reed, right, they had him like a Godzilla walking and like turning over buildings and crashing into buildings, and they made him like a King Kong. Legit. You have to watch Raw, you understand what I mean.
That's quite funny.
I think they're very smart. Yeah. So like for example, when Jey Uso came out right before Jey Uso start the match, there'll be like a 30-seconder like quick cuts of like him performing his move, doing the whole thing. It's like they're literally introducing who these wrestlers are in 30 seconds to casuals who have never seen them before.
Is this something new?
It's new. It's new. I've never seen it up until this year. I think this last few episodes. You should watch a full episode of Raw. You'll get what I mean. Just watch
That's
the
your
entrances.
Endeavor, influence. Very good. I like it.
Smart. Very smart. Okay.
Okay, so we got Bronson Reed, we got Kofi Kingston, who didn't have his whole like Kofi Kingston device. I think, what was it, the last 2 years he kind of slipped and botched, so they're okay, let's give it a rest already.
Yeah. I think let's sunset that and give it to someone else who can do it.
So Kofi Kingston, and then Gunther. Right, so okay, along the way, like you said, Ludwig Kaiser was eliminated by Kofi Kingston, and then Gunther comes out. He's like unimpressed. I love that. I love that dynamic.
Yeah, I think Gunther is amazing. He's definitely on the cusp of becoming a main event star. And especially whatever happened on Raw, later we'll talk about it. There might be an opportunity that he could end up in the main event. So this could be the way to go for Gunther. Like I think he's almost above the Intercontinental Heavyweight Championship at this point in time. He should be at world title contention by now. So
I agree. I think because didn't Gunther face off against Uso, or is that happening soon? Huh?
No. Gunther had a match with Kofi Kingston on Raw.
Okay. Oh, okay, and he retained lah. I feel like
but Jey Uso had a face-to-face, but there wasn't any like announcement that he would have a match or whatnot.
I would like to. I think Jey Uso could take the title off of Gunther. I think that makes sense.
Yeah.
And then Gunther can move on.
That would be a great way to solidify main event Jey. I mean, even though it's a mid-card title, but main event Jey as a solo star, right? Having him win the title. Maybe before WrestleMania, and then Uso versus Uso could be an IC match. I don't know.
Hey, I think that's a great idea. I think that's great. Like, it could be a whole like, all right, Roman Reigns, I'm sending you over to Raw to go and win the title for me, or something like that, lah. Get you a title. All I remember, not all I remember. I remember watching the Rumble, watching Gunther specifically, and going, he's so technically sound in the ring. Like even something as simple as, the whole gimmick where they're like teetering on the ropes, like will he go over? Won't he go over? Like the balance that this guy has. Like this is a weird. I have the weirdest observations, but the balance, like the way he's sort of holding himself as he's like teasing being eliminated, and his legs are kicking in the air. I'm like, holy shit! How is someone that big holding that momentum so perfectly? Yeah.
And the cool thing is he really changed and transformed his physique from like a big blob of a guy, and then now his body is like I don't know whether you know Killer Kowalski, Triple H's mentor. Long, lanky, but fucking scary as fuck. Like Gene Knitsky as well. It's like those old school stragglers where you see those black and white photos of a wrestler where they got a big barrel chairs and they got like standing like that. Yeah.
And he's definitely a throwback. Yeah. Ivar. Okay, Ivar Blair. All right, let's move on. Nobody cares.
Bro, come on.
It's all these gimmicks that don't work. Like, he's a Viking. What the does that mean?
But he does look great as a Viking. I mean, I'm not gonna say I hate it, but yeah.
No. Look, he's like that guy with Bronson Reed and all that, the big guys, but they're just there to make somebody else look impressive. Case in point, who comes out at number 20? Braun Breaker.
Yeah, there you go. Oh, bro.
Who eliminates Ivar?
Apparently, Braun Breaker has this record in NXT where he is the fastest person that runs the ropes in NXT. Oh, yeah. You know about this?
Yeah, I heard. And
then
when
he does run the ropes, bro. Yeah, when he does run the ropes, bro, it's incredibly fast. It's scary. I wouldn't want to be in the middle of him getting a spear, bro.
Yeah, that's why his spears look good, because he has such speed, right? It looks like a slingshot, like pang! Oh shit, So he might have the best spear in the business right now.
Goldberg-esque, I would say, like Gore-esque.
Oh yeah. So like, okay, you think about it, right? Like, I've always called Edge's spear a running hug because it does look the weakest of the whole lot.
Poor guy.
Rhino's spear looks good because Rhino is very short and stout, right? So it looks like a giant battering ram hitting you. Who else has a spear?
What do you think of Roman Reigns' spear?
Okay. It's okay. It's not bad. Like, I was thinking about another guy. You'd think that Bobby Lashley would have a devastating looking spear, but for whatever reason,
he doesn't.
No, like he's a huge mofo, right? But when he spears, he does this flip like almost like a
He
torpedo.
rolls.
He rolls, right?
Yeah.
It makes it look like he just taps the guy only.
Correct. I get what you mean.
So I'm like, and so
of,
many people have spears, so why doesn't he use something else, like the hurt lock?
Yeah, I mean, he does use the hurt lock. I think just one of his multiple moves that he has. But I think I agree. The wrestlers that do great spears are the ones that really lean into it and make it look like a devastating football tackle. Like, they really crash into you, right?
Yeah, like
Braun Breaker does a great job.
Yeah. Lashley, exactly. Lashley spears with an over rotation. It makes it look like he doesn't even hit him, which is weird. You know, you think that he would. Kyrie. Yeah, well, you know, Kyrie Zane can spear me any day.
Oh, wow. Okay. all right.
Let's talk about what were we talking about? Let's
talk about number 20. Number 20.
Braun Breaker lah. There you go. Number 21.
Okay.
Omos. When was the last time we saw this fella?
Bro, can I just say I actually like his ring gear. I really like. He looks like Galactus, right? Doesn't he?
Galactus
is freaking hood.
Purple color lah, bro.
I know, but like the hood covering his face, very Galactus-like.
Very ominous looking. But we all know why he's there. You know,
you gotta have a big guy to look impressive.
Braun Strowman is injured, so go and throw him out there, Omos.
Can la.
Hey, does he have a better contract than Roman Reigns at this point? Because he doesn't cut promos. He literally just shows up at Royal Rumble at events to look massive. Like, does he have a better contract than Roman Reigns at this point?
You know what's crazy about Omos?
What?
Here's a crazy fact. This guy is only 29 years old.
Okay.
So, the fact is, right, he literally is the giant that can be the next generation Big Show. Like, he can be the next giant for the next 10 years. So, I think they are smart by not giving him too early, not letting his body break down too early in his career. Because they know, like, these kind of big size people.
Yeah. And not sort of giving away the trick, as it were. Because, you know, like we talked about, like he is that guy. Like you have him show up against Braun Strowman, which they did in Saudi Arabia, it just looks impressive. But if you have him week in, week out, he will burn out super fast, both physically and in terms of like a character.
Exactly.
It would
Don't give him the Big Show treatment. Don't turn him heel baby face every few minutes, you know. Slow it down. Give him that stupid part-time schedule for now because he is literally an attraction, right? So why not?
It's like you think about someone like Vladimir Kozlov, for example, like big tough, and then at some point they're like, okay, we don't know what else to do with him already. Let's make him into a joke character. You know, like I feel like Omos might go down that road. Here's another one, Shanky. You remember Shanky?
Oh dear God, yeah. Triple H, I hope he won't lah. No. I hope he will see the value of him.
So to your point, that's what I'm saying. I think they're super smart. They're like, okay, he has a very limited sort of usage. If you overuse him, he will be exposed too fast. So literally just have him only show up at Royal Rumble.
Yeah, and if you remember, I know a lot of people might have forgotten this, but at Backlash in Puerto Rico, he actually had a great match with Seth Rollins. I mean, maybe it's 90% Seth Rollins.
Yeah.
But like, you know, he can pair him up with a young, smaller size guy who can bounce around for him. He can make him look good.
Yeah, exactly. Pat McAfee at number 22. Okay, so they did a thing where he goes into the ring, he gets scared of Omos, he eliminates himself. That's fine, that's cute, that's funny. Comedy moment, right? Was this the Brock Lesnar entry and they had to fill it up with something?
I think it was. It was. You know why? You know why? Because a lot of people thought it might have been Braun Breaker filling up that segment. Yeah. But literally, if Brock came in at that point in time, he would have faced off against Omos. It would be a great setup. He would have faced off against Braun Breaker. There would be a cool future versus past kind of deal.
Gunther.
He would have face-to-face with Gunther. This was definitely his... And even Pat McAfee also said that he wasn't told that he was going to go into the ring. So...
So there are a lot of indicators that this was probably the Brock Lesnar spot. But as we alluded to earlier, he was sort of like referenced in the whole Vince McMahon lawsuit. So they're like, okay, let's not have him show up at the Rumble. Did it take away a surprise element? Because you talked about like the great elements of a Rumble, right? So we had one surprise. We had a surprise in Andrade. I wouldn't consider that a top tier surprise. With all due respect to Andrade.
So that's what I meant when I said, like, this Rumble didn't fulfill all three boxes, because the one thing that they missed was, even they had returns, they had storyline,
Yeah.
they didn't have an out of the box return, or like a appearance. Like, they didn't have a legend appearing. They didn't have somebody that no one would have ever expected to appear. Like, they could have. I mean, I'm not saying that The Rock should have appeared, but it would have been an amazing moment. That would have literally made this Rumble
Yeah.
like, okay, it was a great men's Rumble. But they needed someone no one would have expected to appear. So that was why I was thinking, since Jordan Grace appeared for TNA, why not Moose, or like, I don't know, Nick Nemeth making a one-off appearance?
Yeah.
Something from someone from TNA, I think would be really, really cool.
Yeah.
Something like that.
I think they were banking on Brock Lesnar being the big surprise, but then, the whole thing fell out. And then they're like, okay, screw it, just throw Pat McAfee in there, because Poppy and they don't change too many things at the last minute.
Yeah,
so
maybe,
I think
maybe.
It sounds like that was what happened, right? Like, Brock was supposed to be the big surprise, but nope.
Yeah.
JD McDonough came. JD is like the Chelsea Green. And
yeah.
At this point.
He's just a Funko Pop. I mean, he's fine. I like him in his role as well.
I mean, and then you had R-Truth, The Miz, Damian Priest. So this whole section, 23, 24, 25, 26, is that entire feud. Judgment Day, R-Truth, Miz storyline in one.
We can power through this section, but the one thing I just need to say is R-Truth coming in, trying to go for the tag was hilarious.
Oh my god, yeah. So he had two moments, right? He comes out at the women's Rumble, and then he tries to go for a tag.
Yeah. And then when Damian Priest come in, straight first thing, whack the fella in the head, throw him out. That was
a lot of people online are like, oh, why are they making Judgment Day like this, like comedy group? I love it, because I think it's what they've done is they've made R-Truth the Sami Zayn. Now you're gonna feel bad for R-Truth, because we all love R-Truth because he's funny, right? So now when Damian Priest, and I feel like, I don't know what happened on Raw, but I feel like at some point Damian Priest is gonna F R-Truth like big time.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
They need to destroy him.
They did a beatdown on
Truth?
R-Truth, so yeah.
Okay.
So this has happened already.
Oh, okay, there you go. It's happened already. So you could see the writing on the wall, right?
Yeah. Again, I think R-Truth brings to this. It gives layers to Judgment Day. It's not just a bunch of badass people trying to be badass. Now you got like this. How do they deal with humor? How do they deal with, unexpected situations? I think it's cool. I think it gives a wrinkle to the team.
I think we can compare it to Sami Zayn and the Bloodline. It wasn't quite that, but there were shades of it. And I think that if they tried to drag this out a little bit longer, it might have gotten a bit annoying with the R-Truth stuff. So I think this was the perfect amount of time for it. It's like a few weeks of R-Truth shenanigans, and then R-Truth will finally see the light, and then it will be R-Truth and The Miz versus Judgment Day at some point.
All right. Okay, let's power through the rest of the entrance, because most of them are like very predictable. So
sure.
You mentioned the Miz, you mentioned Damian Priest.
27. Hang on.
Yes.
Look in my eyes. What do you see? Okay, your guy. Can I be very honest? Right. You know I've had nothing but good things to say about CM Punk, right?
Don't worry. I know what you're going to say, but please say it.
Did he look very slow and sluggish and sloppy and just like... See, okay, now that I saw what happened on Raw in terms of the Instagram, the social media posts, right? So were they playing this whole broken down warrior deal? Or
yes.
Is he really just like cannot make it ready?
I think it's a bit of both. I think he looked bad, to be really honest. I did not know how fast he got injured. Apparently, let's just quickly skip to Raw. So he did announce that he tore his right tricep. Not the same tricep that he tore in AEW. So his both tricep has been torn in this last couple of years.
Screw it, like if Cody can do Red Tete in Hell in a Cell, so can CM Punk. Come on, man.
Yeah, so apparently it was Drew McIntyre who future shock DDT him, and that caused it to happen.
Okay.
So
is it a work or shoot though? That's the question.
I mean,
right?
I do not know. I think it might be legit. But actually, right, when we were watching it live on the Discord, right, the moment that happened, right, you can tell he was really bad. Like he was slow, he was struggling. The part where he was trying to eliminate Drew McIntyre, he was struggling to carry him out in a GTS
Correct.
as well.
Well, it seemed like every GTS, but then maybe, he was already injured lah. But yeah, he just looked very sluggish, even more so than when he was in AEW. So it cannot be like he suddenly deteriorated within, however, was it 8 months, a year since he was feuding with MJF?
Do you know whether he was in shape or not? Because I felt he was in shape, but
He
not
was.
as great of a shape as I thought. I don't know.
So what? Okay, he looked great, but there's a difference
Physically,
between
he looked fine.
Yeah, physical looks versus in-ring shape is very different. But it cannot be he completely lost his in-ring shape because he was just wrestling like a year ago against MJF. So I'm like, what the heck happened, man?
I do not know whether they're trying to play it up that he was broken down or like because he got injured, it really severely affected his movement.
Yeah.
But I agree. Actually, when he came in, I was excited. I was saying, CM Punk, let's go. And it's like, now he just blended into the crowd. Like, okay, like that.
No, that's a great way of putting it, right? Like he just was there, and then he was, right? And then
and this is coming as a CM Punk fan, you know. So
I know.
I can be biased and defend him, but I'm honest as well. I can say that, he didn't look as great as I thought he would look. And this was his first appearance in WWE, so he should have come in all guns blazing. He should be throwing people out left, right. You know what I mean? Like that kind of energy.
Okay, let's cover the next few because they're not going to kind of matter. Ricochet, okay, great. Drew McIntyre, this was a big one for him. And then the return of Sami Zayn also felt a little bit like, he's back, but he didn't really...
Sammy gave me the same vibe as Liv Morgan, and I'm so sorry to say, but Sammy has dropped off a cliff in terms of popularity since
Bloodline?
the Bloodline. So
well,
so it's
it is what
sad.
He's kind of like the Kofi Mania lah. There was a moment in time where it was right for him. It was the perfect moment. They capitalized on it, thankfully, and then boom, after that it's done. It's like Kofi Mania. It's like in a way the Yes movement.
Again,
Lightning,
so that's why some wrestlers are meant to last the distance and to be a star for years and years. Some are meant to just have their moment once in a lifetime, and that's it.
Lightning in the bottle. But there's nothing wrong with that, though. You know what I mean? It's just the way the business is. But okay, so you wind down. You have CM Punk. You have Drew McIntyre. I was almost 4 for 4 with my Final Four predictions, by the way.
Almost. You missed out on who's the fourth person that was in the Rumble. It was Gunther.
Gunther, Gunther was eliminated earlier.
What do you get wrong? Because your prediction was what?
CM Punk. I forgot.
Cody.
Cody,
was
for
it
sure.
Punk, Cody,
Drew?
No, you did.
Punk, Cody, Drew, yes. And Jay. There's always an underdog.
Jay also
in the fourth one.
But you didn't count Gunther to be in the Final Four?
No, I did not. And ultimately, was he in the Final Four?
Yes, he was. So it was Gunther and
there you go.
Drew, the two big horses fighting against Cody and Punk.
I love these two guys, but the whole CM Punk versus Cody thing where they tried to do, it felt a bit flat, didn't it? Like, and every time I looked at CM Punk's face, he legit looked like he's dying. So I don't know if he was selling or he was really winded, like blown up and stuff. He looked blown up.
I watched a Raw, and honestly, when we were watching it on Discord as well live, the Royal Rumble, actually we all got bored. Literally, the people in the Discord were like, "Why this mini match are damn boring?"
No,
when are they gonna end?
They kept trying to do the hype the crowd thing up, and it was just flat. And I was like, I expected way more from these two.
And I don't know whether the crowd is at fault. Like the crowd wasn't as into the wrestlers as they should have been for the final two. So that was a problem. I don't know whether maybe if this was happening in Chicago or everyone would be crazy. But then you can't keep relying on the hometown. If he's only over in his hometown, then no point. So
I feel like they almost redid certain segments because they wanted to build the crowd back up to lead into the finish. It felt like that, but then they realized, we're not doing it. So whatever, just go to the finish. Yeah, it felt like a weak finish to a really good Rumble card.
Yeah, Cody and CM Punk had a great segment on Raw last week, right? Like the talking segment was amazing. It's just that I worry because CM Punk is 45 and what he wants to do at this point in his career, like he wants to be in the main event, he wants to do all these great matches. The time is really, really short because. Bro, Shawn Michaels, right, at his second run, right, he retired at 45. His last match with Undertaker was when he was 45 years old. Right. His entire second run started 9 years before that. So he was like 36. Like when he returned at Survivor Series or 2002 or something like that. He was 36, 37. So basically, right, CM Punk is trying to do that HBK fairy tale run.
Yeah.
when he's the same age when he really retired, he really had the run. So I think he can't. His body can't do what he wants to do. In my opinion,
Well,
unfortunately.
I mean, back to your point of WrestleMania 41 being the first WrestleMania on Netflix. CM Punk versus somebody, one of the main events, like that whole redemption story. And maybe this is all work. Maybe he's working all about the injury thing. His dreams are shattered. He's not going to be at WrestleMania, all to set up WrestleMania 41.
Okay, so maybe the story for this year is Cody Rhodes.
Yeah.
CM Punk doesn't want to take the shine away. And maybe, even though, yes, they tease Seth Rollins, maybe he's going to wait next year, and that's when CM Punk wins the title.
Yeah, long-term booking.
Maybe. Very interestingly, I know you didn't watch Raw, but Cody Rhodes came to the ring. He wanted to announce his challenger, and everyone and their mother know he was going to challenge Roman Reigns, right?
Yeah.
But there was an interesting segment that happened on Raw. Seth Rollins came out. And I think I encourage everyone who haven't watched Raw to check out this talking segment between Seth Rollins and Cody Rhodes. Because Seth Rollins tried to put a case for him to choose with the World Heavyweight title as his match at WrestleMania. I don't know. Yeah. Do you see what he said about how don't go for that Hollywood title, don't go for that Hogan title. He basically buried the WWE Championship.
Yeah.
And said, go for the Dusty title. Go for the title that we have built up this year. I've defended every single day.
Ooh.
It's a compelling argument. I mean, I'm not going to lie. And I think WWE is very smart. They're going to... Yes, the obvious end goal is Roman versus Cody. But let's tease the crowd. Let's cock-block the crowd a bit. Let's give them this idea that he might choose the World Heavyweight title.
Or what if, bro, they really do pull that off so that you could have Roman versus Rock?
Oh,
I mean, I know it doesn't fall into your 2025 vision, your Netflix vision, right? But hey, for the now, Rock versus Roman is still, and that way, bro, you have Rock lose to Roman at WrestleMania, and Roman gets to eclipse Hulk Hogan.
Wow. I mean, that's a great prediction, bro. I'm not gonna lie. I mean, that's an awesome way they can go as well.
So that was my original prediction. If you look at the TikTok video, that's still my prediction. It's Roman versus Rock. Rock loses, gives a massive rub to Roman. Roman goes and breaks the record, right? Takes the record away from Hulk Hogan. And you have this situation where Seth is legit injured, but he's going to power through it. So why not have him in a triple threat? Seth, Cody, CM Punk. The question is, I don't know if CM Punk is truly, really injured. But that was my prediction for WrestleMania. Still can, bro. Still can. Come, we have two injured fellas in the triple threat match.
No, you got to see what I shared on Instagram. The WWE AI art Instagram post. Damn hilarious. Both of them in the wheelchair challenging each other for the title. Yeah. I mean, okay. Let's just put a bow and say that this road to WrestleMania, we thought would have been very predictable. We thought it would have been Rollins, Punk. We thought it would have been Roman Reigns, Cody Rhodes, but now there's so many spanners in the works. So
I mean, kudos. Once again, was CM Punk truly injured, or was this an entire work? See, that's the aura I think about CM Punk. You never know if he's working you.
Well, I don't know, but everything points towards him telling the truth, that he's legitimately injured and he has to take a surgery. But we shall see what happens, right?
Yeah, I guess. Bro, if Cody can wrestle with a torn pec, he also can. Okay, no, I kid. He's not. He shouldn't.
I really would have loved to have seen CM Punk go into Elimination Chamber in Perth, see him live. And winning.
Isn't he advertised for Perth? So technically, he was going to go to Perth anyway.
Yeah, he is. So we shall see what happens, right? I hope he doesn't go home and disappear. I hope he stays on TV somehow, man. But we shall see, man.
He's busy training the next generation on NXT.
Yeah, I can see him becoming an NXT trainer or someone working there.
Take over Shawn Michaels.
Well, it's a start.
Yeah.
It's a start, bro. It's a start.
Boy. Well, there you go. We covered a heck of a lot. What a first episode of Season 7. Thank you, everybody, for hanging out on the podcast, on the live stream. Of course, if you're listening to this on Spotify after the fact, thank you for listening as well.
Yeah, man. I mean, I don't know how long we have gone. I think definitely more than 2 hours.
Yeah.
It's great to be back, and I wanted to announce something at the end of the show. And I think I'm gonna get you on board with this, Mr. Young, because I feel like this is something we all should get excited about on Patreon, right?
All right.
You know how every year we've been doing Kick to the Gut Awards?
Yes.
Right? And then during Kick to the Gut award season, like at the end of the year, we will like start voting and like, say who's our favorite wrestlers and all that. I've been thinking about it, right? I've been thinking about how can we be more fair to our local wrestlers, especially because this season we're definitely gonna cover local wrestling. We're gonna try to visit the shows when we can. We're gonna have the wrestlers on our shows. But how do we ensure that everyone deserving of becoming the champion or everyone deserving of being called local wrestler of the year actually earn the spot, right? So I've gone through my Bill Apter magazines, looking at Sports Illustrated, Pro Wrestling Illustrated, all these magazines, right? And how they actually calculate which wrestlers deserve to be wrestler of the year is not just by fan vote during that one period. They've actually tabulated each person's matches throughout the year. Right? So that means every single person who is eligible must have wrestled X amount of matches or must have appeared so they can qualify, and they rate the of course they have ratings of their matches throughout the year, right? And then at the end of the year they tabulate it based on that. So I was thinking, going forward, if we do cover all these events as much as we can in local wrestling, between spread out between you, me, Saleh, whoever it covers the events, and now our patrons as well, those people who actually go and see the matches or who have things to say about the matches, they can let us know in Patreon who they think, or they can rate the matches as well. And we'll set up a system where, everyone can give a rating on the matches that happen on all these match cards.
Right.
And then at the end of the year, when we tabulate the winners of the local categories, it will be based on our Patreon votes, as opposed to running a 2-week campaign trying to get votes and maybe all of the people from their promotion will vote for them, or you know what I mean? So like we want to, in the
sounds like a lot of math, bro.
Sounds like a data-driven Tony Khan sports presentation.
Oh my God.
But the point is, I think we want to get our patrons to be part of the voting process for the Kick to the Gut Awards. And instead of doing it as an end of year thing, we're going to make it throughout the year. So I think it will be a great fun thing to do, to kind of get people to also check out local wrestling as well, be part of the community, and also get their voices heard, so that at the end of the year, when we do the Kick to the Gut Awards, it's definitely well deserved. So that's my proposition to you, Mr.
Like
Young.
Jason says, like the PWI 500 lah.
Yes.
Okay.
Exactly. And it all starts on our Patreon. Yes.
Then what about our local wrestlers who go overseas? Do those matches count?
Well, we're putting a caveat as matches that we see takes place in Singapore.
Okay. We'll
so
work
that's
on
fair.
it.
So because technically we will cover the events regardless whether we attend it or not.
Yeah.
We will, and our Patreon members who do attend the shows regularly can also have their say and let us know how they perform. So I think between all of us, so we're gonna leverage on the community. We don't want to make it just homework, just the two of us. We're gonna leverage on the community to kind of cover it and let us know. So I'm imposing on everyone to be our reporters as well on the ground, telling us how these matches went. So yeah, here we go.
There
what do you think
go.
of that, Mr. Young?
I think it's a great idea. I think akan datang will see when we tighten up the criteria. We need a start time, start date, end date, all that kind of stuff. Just like the PWI. Yes. And we'll see. Yeah, we'll see how that goes.
We'll start from February, and I believe the first upcoming local show will be Causeway Jam, Grapple Max, hint. So if you guys want to be part of this journey, we implore you, or we invite you to be a paid subscriber on our Patreon, and let's have some fun, man. Let's cover the wrestling scene in Singapore together.
Absolutely. So, yeah. All right, it's time for us to wrap things up. I mean, it's like 3:10 already, so thank you so much if you've joined us since 12 o'clock, we're your
Appreciate
lunch.
it.
Yeah, we're a lunch company and beyond lunch. It's time to get back to work. Everybody, have a great one. Once again, as always. Oh, if you haven't already, follow us on Discord, check out our Patreon. All the links, the drill already are by now.
You know, yes.
But yes, as usual, it's Mr. Young.
And it's for in the building. Have a great week.